It's the NJSIAA Group 1 South Championship game with Glassboro against Pennsville coming up next on Verizon Phl 1 Sports.
Phl 1 Sports, the Star Ledger, and NJ.com present the New Jersey State High School Game of the Week. Phl 1, bringing you the world outside your door. The Star Ledger and NJ.com, everything Jersey.
From Richard Wacker Stadium, we're in Glassboro, New Jersey, as the Star Ledger and NJ.com with Verizon Phl 1 Sports brings you the New Jersey High School Football State Championships. Today, it's the Group 1 South New Jersey State Championship game as Glassboro takes on Pennsville, two teams that had their road to the championship. It wasn't an easy one for either one. You see Pennsville and Glassboro, both with some tough tests before arriving to today's championship game in the South Group 1. Glassboro set to take on Pennsville. Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Benkin along with Scott Stump. And, Scott, you've got an intriguing matchup today. You've got a Pennsville team that comes in as the favorite, the team that seems to be the new kids on the block. And you've got the Glassboro squad, which is the underdog, but also a proud program in South Jersey.
Absolutely. Very intriguing matchup. Pennsville looking for its first state title since 1981, whereas Glassboro, they're used to being here. 3 state titles since 2007, including last year. Pennsville hoping to end a drought. Glassboro looking to continue its dominance.
Glassboro was blown out in its season opener, but the Bulldogs have come a long way, and here they are playing for yet another championship. And there's no question who leads the way at running back, Corey Clement, who could set some records today.
Yeah, he wants a title and some records. With 2,276 yards rushing, he's only 15 shy of the South Jersey single-season record. He had 280 yards rushing the first time these teams met in the regular season. He's going to be a handful, and he's going to have a big game to keep up with that Pennsville offense.
It's quite an offense. If you want to go for your snack while you're watching the game, don't go when Pennsville has the football because you might miss about 4 or 5 plays. It's a high-powered, no-huddle attack. They run the 2-minute drill, and they're led by their super sophomore quarterback, Dylan Cummings.
Yeah, what he lacks in stature, he makes up for in stats. I mean, at 5'8", 145 pounds, he's thrown for over 2,700 yards and 34 touchdowns as a sophomore. The second the official puts that ball down after the play, it's going to be snapped again. So look for a lot of excitement on both sides today.
Well, last year it was Glassboro knocking out Pennsville in the semifinals. Today the Eagles go for revenge as Glassboro and Pennsville battle for the South Jersey Group 1 South Championship. Glassboro and Pennsville coming up next on Verizon Phl 1 Sports. Ed Benkin, Scott Stump back here in Glassboro. Rowan University, the site for Pennsville and Glassboro in the Group 1 South Final. Two teams, longtime rivals, who met in the playoffs last year, set for the rematch to decide the title this morning. Let's get more down the sidelines as we hear from Alexa Datt.
Thanks, Ed. We're gearing up for a very exciting state championship game here today. Pennsville hosting Glassboro, even though Glassboro High School is just across the street. The Bulldogs took the shortest road trip in school championship history to get here, 25 yards just across Bow Boulevard. Coach Macaron said it's always good to be the away team and play here in Glassboro. Ed, back to you.
Thank you, Alexa Datt. And there is Mark Macaron, first-year head coach, although he's been with the program as an assistant for several years. Certainly fired up this morning when we talked to him. And here is the kickoff. We're underway. Glassboro getting the ball first in the white, and they work it to the near side, trying to work his way up, finding a little room along the near side is Hoaxie, and he will take it up to about the 26-yard line as Glassboro's offense will take the field to start the game. Pennsville in the blue. And you see the Eagles head coach, Ryan Wood. Very calm demeanor when we talked to him this morning. Scott seemed very focused and wanted his players to treat this like any other game and try not to get too caught up in the hype.
Yeah, I think when you haven't won a title since 1981, you can get all caught up in the pressure of the moment. He just wants these guys to relax and play the type of game they played during the regular season when they beat Glassboro.
So here comes the Glassboro offense, and of course we'll keep an eye on Corey Clement. Michael Gillespie, the quarterback, under center, and Clement will get the pitch, trying to cut back up the middle, and is hit and dropped for a short gain as the Pennsville defense makes the stop to get things started. Colin Bunch first in on the tackle. Take a look at the Bulldogs starters. As you see, very talented Group 1 offense.
Yeah, Corey Clement obviously only 15 yards and even less now away from the South Jersey single-season rushing record. He's the guy that Pennsville's going to be keying on behind that big offensive line there.
Set to go now as it is a 2nd down and 8 as they work out of the pro set. Clements again, not much as he gets up to about the 31. A moral victory when you can hold Clements to just about a 3-yard gain.
And he ran for 280 yards in the first meeting between these teams during the regular season. As we see that Pennsville defense, Coletti, Steve Collins, Tim Isham, their leading tackler, they're going to have to find a way to get 11 hats to the ball when Clement has it. As Coach Ryan Wood was saying, the first guy's not going to take him down. We have to all flow to the ball when he has it.
Hiles on that last stop. It is a 3rd down and 5. As Gillespie's pass is incomplete off the fingertips of his intended receiver, trying to find Jameel Murray on the far side. As they get set to go, let's take a look at our Verizon 411 keys to the game, Scott. And, well, certainly a high-octane game. And the keys certainly for both teams, almost self-explanatory today.
Yeah, I mean, Glassboro absolutely has to get a pass rush against that great passing attack of Dylan Cummings in the key. As we've seen so far, a good start for Pennsville as far as run defense and stopping Corey Clement.
Punt is away. It's a short punt as Hawthorne will take it at the 36. He's got some room near side. 45, 40, finds room and has daylight in front of him. One man to beat, and he will go in for the touchdown as Pennsville strikes first on the punt return. A 64-yard return for Ryan Hawthorne, and the Eagles have the first score of the game.
Tremendous effort by Hawthorne, and he picks up right where he left off from the last game against Glassboro. He had 5 touchdowns during the regular season game. As we take another look at this punt return, some nice blocking and then a good cutback right here. Great vision to get through the middle of the pack, and then it's just a foot race to the end zone. Ryan Hawthorne fires the first shot, and Pennsville with some immediate momentum.
Extra point attempt is up and good from Taylor Hines, or no good. Excuse me, she just missed it. The kick appeared to be going through, but it just sailed wide to the left. However, Pennsville is on the board first in the opening moments, 10-17 to go. In this first quarter, it's Pennsville 6, Glassboro nothing. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Phl 1 Sports. Welcome back to Glassboro. Ed Benkin here with Scott Stump and Alexa Datt as the Glassboro Bulldogs and Pennsville Eagles doing Battle of the South Group 1 Championship. A good start for Pennsville. The punt return for the touchdown by Hawthorne makes it 6-0. On the return near side and finding room looking to go to the near side is Hoaxie. Decent return up to the 37. And the Bulldogs will take over offensively. An impressive stand defensively for Pennsville before the punt return.
Yeah, that's a way to set the tone for the Pennsville defense to be able to stand up Clement like that. And Clement now 10 yards away from passing that single-season South Jersey rushing record set in 1994 by Kingsway's Gary Fauntleroy, 2,286 yards, and also tied this year by Millville's Alquan Jones. We'll see if Glassboro can get it going in the running game on its second possession.
Clement will try here, and he trips over the pile and gets up to the 44 as he's able to pick up 7 on the play. So bearing it on that record, a lot of people thought he could get it on the first carry today, Scott, but again, so far, good job by Pennsville.
Yeah, a better push up front here, and he's just maybe one ankle tackle away from really breaking a big one there. And as Coach Mark Macarone told us, Clement himself could care less if he gets 5 yards or 500 yards. He just wants a championship.
He's certainly not about the stats. He's about that championship feeling, which both teams battling for today and looking for that title today. And he gets the carry again. Brought down. Good play defensively as the Eagles stack him up. Steve Collins comes in for the stop.
Yeah, it's a great job by Collins. He was the first guy there and was able to not let Clement get free. So that's going to be a huge aspect of this defense today for Pennsville, is putting him on the ground when you make that initial contact. So that's a great job right there.
That's exactly what Ryan Wood told us. The first man's got to make the play. And even if you don't bring him down, even though he was brought down there by that man, Collins, you slow him down enough that you get some help from your defensive mates. So another third down for Glassboro. The Bulldogs face with a 3rd and 3 from their own 44. Sending 2 wide to the near side as Gillespie will work under center. Tight end Feliciano as we get a whistle, and
looks like a false start on the end of the line there. And that's the last thing Glassboro wants, because at third in that distance, Clement's still definitely in play. But now, you may have to throw the ball, which is not really the position that Glassboro wants to be in on third down.
There's our referee, Alfred DeSantis Jr., leading the crew this morning. And 10 a.m. kickoff, certainly unusual for these two teams, but neither team seemed to mind it when we talked to them beforehand. And that'll move them back 5 yards. It'll be a 3rd and 8 on the Glassboro 39. Gillespie on play action. Over the middle, he's got a man, but short of the first down. Trying to break the tackle, but finally being put down. As Alisi, he will fight for extra yardage. Still on his feet. We didn't hear a whistle yet, and looks like he's got the first down on a tremendous 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort.
Wow. That play looked like it was definitely over a few yards shy of the first down marker. What an incredible 2nd effort right there. That's somebody who wants a championship.
Looking a little Marshawn Lynch-ish from the Eagles-Seahawks game earlier this week, and tremendous 2nd effort.
Yeah, because the route wasn't long enough to get the first down just on the throw. But you see the strength here and the balance by Antoine Alicia. I mean, he's a Division II prospect. Good size at 6'2", 225. He used his strength right there.
And here goes Clements. He's got the record, and he's got more. Trying to give Glassboro a 6-6 score, and he does with a touchdown. 48 yards for Corey Clements, and the Bulldogs have tied the game.
And nothing more satisfying than getting the record on a touchdown run. And you knew it wasn't going to be long before he was heard from. Considering these two teams combined for 90 points in their first meeting, you had a feeling it was going to be up and down. And right there, it goes to show you miss one tackle and he's gone. Take another look right here. A few guys got a hand on him as he was coming by, but no one was able to wrap up, and goodbye.
So Clement sets the South Jersey single-season rushing record, held by a pair of running backs, the great Harry Fauntleroy of Kingsway, one of the record holders back in 1994. And we get a flag down before the extra point attempt. So a 6-play, 63-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 16 seconds, 48 of it coming on the final play. So we get the offside against Pennsville as Glassboro looks to take the lead, and with so many offensive threats, you wonder how big the kicking game can play into. Really, the extra points, it's a huge part of today's game.
Absolutely. I mean, this could be one of those games where it could be a 42-41 type game, so you need to take every point you can get.
Lee Clement on to attempt the extra point. Skies one high into the air, and it is good. So that will give Glassboro the lead with 7:55 to go. It's the Bulldogs on top by a score of 7-6, and the great Corey Clement showing us why he's one of the best.
I mean, showing great breakaway speed right here. And once he gets to that second level, he's just so tough because once he gets in a foot race with you, there's not too many guys who are going to be able to run him down from behind, and just really on his way to an incredible career. I mean, he entered the game with over 3,600 yards rushing already. He's already broken a few records by Sean Redmond, the great Sean Redmond at their high school, played there in 1984 and went on to play at Penn State. So, I mean, he's just rewriting the record book here at Glassboro and immediately answering that punt return, which was a big shot of adrenaline for Pennsville. So I think that was huge for Glassboro to come back and show that they're going to be right in this game.
You mentioned Sean Redmond, also Gordy Lockbaum, who had a tremendous college career at Holy Cross. So it's amazing not just to break the South Jersey record, he's had to beat some of his former Glassboro high school standouts and set some tremendous marks at the school as well.
Yeah, when your name's getting mentioned among the greats at Glassboro, you're having a pretty incredible career.
And now he skies the kickoff, and taking it is Newsom near the 5. Tripped up and brought down before he gets to the 20. As looked to go to the near side, but good coverage on the play by the Bulldogs, as making the stop was Ronnie James. A 16-yard return, and now get ready for the high-octane offense of Pennsville. There you get a look at Hawthorne, who has the touchdown, and here's the quarterback, Dylan Cummings, only a sophomore, runs this high-paced 2-minute offense. And they will start it from the 18-yard line. So Pennsville working with 3 receivers, and out of the shotgun goes Cummings. Under some pressure as he looks to throw, and he's brought down with the ball loose on the turf. And the Eagles are able to recover, but good pressure on the far side as Cummings was dropped on the play. Dan Kolatsky coming in to make the hit and force the fumble.
Dan Klatsky's their leading tackler and a team leader, and it looks like Glassboro recovered. That's a huge momentum swing.
One of the Eagles initially had it, but Glassboro gets the turnover.
Great pressure, which they were not able to bring in that first meeting during the regular season. As Coach Mark Macarone said in the pregame, yeah, our pass rush, we need to have one this time. We didn't have one last time, and immediately on the first play, Klatsky comes in and makes a tremendous strip of the ball, and now Glassboro knocking on the door to take the lead.
Like Alessia was able to recover that, so Glassboro with an excellent opportunity here from the 10-yard line. And Clement looking for a second. He's got it easily for the touchdown to increase Glassboro's lead. That didn't take long when you have Corey Clement in the backfield.
And in these shootout-type games, turnovers can be absolutely crucial because you don't want one team to be able to get that 2-touchdown advantage and you're playing catch-up the whole way. I mean, this now gives Glassboro the leg up, and that was an easy one for Clement. Just bounced it outside, untouched into the end zone.
How about Clement? Already not even halfway through this first quarter. 6 carries, 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns as Glassboro now leads by 7. And now you can make it 8 as the extra point is up and good with 7:31 to go in a fast-paced first quarter. And the underdog Bulldogs looking very impressive, off to a 14-6 lead.
And you look at how the offensive line does a great job of sealing that right side, and then it's just Clement using his speed to bounce it outside. Nice vision to know when to head for the sideline there. And again, once it's a foot race with him, it's no contest.
Mark Macarone was quick to credit the guys up front as well, and it's the same old story. The great running back gets the headlines, but he's got some help from the offensive line. So they are set to kick off. With this reminder, have you heard of the new Visual 411 widget? It's a free search app on Fios TV that provides you with the name, address, and phone number of any business you're looking for. You can even use the navigator to get directions. Access the widget by clicking on Widget button on your Fios TV remote control, scrolling down, and selecting the V411 application. Beautiful December morning here in Glassboro. Rowan University, the campus site, right across from Glassboro High School, as here's the kickoff. Bounces short, and taking it there is Newsom. Wiggles his way across the 20 and fights for extra yards. Breaks free and still has it on his feet as he looks for room near side. Taken down at about the 38. Now the ball comes loose, but the play was dead. And they'll mark it down near the 40. Fine return. And let's see if that return by Colton Newsom can get the Eagles going.
Special teams have been tremendous so far for Pennsville, as we see Colton Newsom, who's one of their other top wide receivers, along with Ryan Hawthorne, who we saw return the punt for a touchdown early on. These guys making some big plays on special teams to really help out field position.
And a 34-yard return, and the Eagles will start on the 38, trailing by 8. As Cummings will work out of the shotgun and go on play action. Sets up the screen nicely, looking for Crow, and Crow has room on the far side across the 50 into Glassboro territory. Down to the 30 with one man to beat, and is taken down near the 10-yard line. Tremendous catch and run as Monty Crow gets Pennsville deep into Glassboro territory. A 52-yard catch and run. Let's take a look at the Eagles starters, a fast-paced offense with a lot of skilled players.
Yeah, Hawthorne is a guy you definitely want to keep an eye on, over 1,000 yards receiving this year. Newsom also another top receiver. And, of course, running the whole show is Dylan Cummings.
From the 10-yard line, 1st and goal, as the handoff goes up the middle, fighting for extra yardage. And not getting much room to go is Mundy, as he's taken down at about the line of scrimmage. They'll mark him with forward progress for about a half yard. So 2nd and goal for Pennsville.
And on that previous play, I thought that was a great play call, by Ryan Wood's staff. You're taking advantage of the over-aggressiveness early on of that Glassboro defense to get that little pass out there on the screen, and it was nothing but daylight.
Cummings again will work out of the shotgun as he goes back to throw on 2nd and goal from the 10. Facing the pressure, pass deflected and intercepted. Off the hands of Hawthorne and back the other way come the Bulldogs with room. All the way for a touchdown, untouched will be Jameel Murray as he gets the deflection and takes it coast to coast for Glassboro's 3rd touchdown of the day with 6:07 to play in the opening quarter. Off the deflection, as it's Redding actually who made that deflection, and goes 99 yards for the touchdown.
Pass was a little behind the receiver, and the next thing you know, it's 99 yards the other way. We'll take another look at it right now, trying to get him coming across the field. Hawthorne sticks his hands out, able to get a piece of it, but instead, Juwan Johnson taking it 99 yards for the score. What an incredible momentum swing. And again, Glassboro taking major advantage of the turnovers, making Pennsville pay dearly by scoring on both turnovers by the Eagles.
So it is Johnson with the touchdown and the extra point up and good with 6:07 to go in the first quarter. Glassboro already with 21. We'll step aside and take a break. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Phl One Sports. Ed Benkin, Scott Stump back here at Rowan University, and the Glassboro Bulldogs with 3 touchdowns here in this opening quarter. The last coming on a deflection and a 99-yard interception return by Juwan Johnson. And Glassboro off to a 21-6 lead, and now you have to wonder, Scott, psychologically if Pennsville is going to recover from this fast Glassboro start.
But if you remember, in the last game during the regular season, Glassboro led that game 20-7 early on before Pennsville roared all the way back to win 55-35. Cummins threw for 444 yards and 4 TDs in that victory. So it's not like this is a completely unfamiliar position for Pennsville, and their offense is certainly built to come from behind in a hurry, but clearly you got to cut down on those turnovers or this game might get away from them.
That was a huge moment in the season for Pennsville. Coach Macarone likes what he sees early on in this game, but the Eagles facing the team that had beaten them last year and Ryan Wood's squad with that tremendous comeback, and Pennsville really got rolling after that game. Game taking place at the end of October, and Pennsville, as we mentioned, resting some of their key players last week in their only loss of the season. And now looking for the championship today, but it's Glassboro with a fast start. Let's see what Newsom can do on the return as he stumbles and gets up to about the 25. So the Eagles will start at the 25-yard line. And this Pennsville offense, which has committed 2 turnovers today, will look to get back on track. 4 offensive plays, 2 turnovers for Pennsville. Take a look at the Glassboro defense. A lot of names familiar on the offensive side. Clement not bad on the defensive end as well. Klasky made a big play earlier today, a linebacker, forcing the fumble. See the secondary, and they will have a busy afternoon, no question about that, with a very tough passing attack to face. But so far they've done their job, have the Bulldogs defensively. So from the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, and Cummings will hand it off and trying to bounce up the middle and getting stopped immediately after a short pickup. Thanks again to the strong defense by Glassboro is Monty Crow. Moved up to about the 29-yard line.
Crow's a nice rushing receiving threat, 607 on the ground, 390 yards receiving, so a very versatile player that allows them to do different things with him in this offense.
Flag comes down on 2nd down and 7 from the 28-yard line. Looks like this will cost Pennsville 5 yards.
And you get back to what Coach Ryan Wood told us in the pregame, to just relax, play it like another game, but a little bit of early game jitters, it looks like, here for Pennsville between the penalties and the turnovers.
It's interesting when he told us that. He also mentioned that deep down he knows this is the game that Pennsville's been looking at since last year when they lost to Glassboro in double overtime. So that's certainly been on the minds of the players, even with their win over the Bulldogs earlier this year. As another flag comes down, this one might go against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it looked like the hard count by Cummings might have gotten Glassboro to jump off sides there, and that's the call.
So the 5 yards goes right back the other way, and we reset to a 2nd and 7 from the 28-yard line. Cummings, the quarterback for Pennsville, we mentioned, only a sophomore, and Clements, the great running back for Glassboro, only a junior. So this won't be the last meeting between these 2 star players. So out of the shotgun is Cummings on 2nd and 8. He'll keep it himself, and he's stacked up right near the line of scrimmage as the Bulldogs converge. Clements leading the charge defensively for Glassboro.
And Cummings at only 5'8" and about 135 pounds. It's trying to find some running room in the middle there is not going to be too easy.
No gain on the play, so a 3rd and 7 coming up for the Eagles. Cummings again will work out of the shotgun. As time in the pocket, goes over the middle behind his receiver, incomplete. He had Hawthorne open on a crossing pattern. Pass was behind him, however, and that'll bring up a 4th and 7 for Pennsville.
And that's the 2nd straight possession where he had Hawthorne coming across the field, and the ball was just a little bit behind him. The last one resulted in a 99-yard interception return. Luckily this time just an incomplete pass, but this Pennsville offense needs to get the timing down in that passing game.
So the Glassboro defense forcing 2 turnovers today and a 3-and-out against this high-octane attack for Pennsville. Here is Crow's punt as it sails high into the air. Cologne will take it at the 36. Looking for a block on the far side, and he's hit and brought down at the 41-yard line. Kyle Coletti brings him down. Still good field position for Glassboro with forward progress. They'll mark it at the 42.
And this is a crucial defensive possession for Pennsville. You can't get too far behind. I know it's still early and you have this kind of offense as we take a look at the return here. But they're going to have to find a way to stop Clement on this drive and get the ball back, because if you fall behind 3 scores, even for this offense, that's starting to get a little scary.
Clement, as we mentioned, is a junior, starting to get some collegiate looks as well. Doesn't have the size of some of the other great backs that move on, but certainly there's a spot for him somewhere on the next level. So the Bulldogs, who made a grand total of 25 yards to make the trip to get here today, right across the street, certainly one of the shortest trips in school history of any kind of South Jersey football championship or anyone in the state. We'll see what the Bulldogs can do now on 1st and 10. Handoff goes up the middle to Rothmiller, the fullback, and he powers his way up close to midfield. They'll mark him down in Pennsville territory at the 49.
That was a nice surge by the offensive line on that play. You know, Rothmiller got stood up a little bit early in the play, but able to chug ahead for a few more yards, and this is exactly what Glassboro wants. Manageable second downs, because now you still have to worry a whole bunch about Clement, but if you want to run a little play action or try and go over the top, you can take your shot.
That was Murray on the carry who lined up at fullback for the first time, and now they go with the eye again as they get set on a 2nd down and 1 from the Pennsville 49. Clement's turn and a 1-yard gain for a first down. Easy for him as he shifts his way through traffic and has the first down. Ball came loose for a moment, but they'll spot it at the 46-yard line. That'll be enough for a Glassboro first down.
And that's a turnover Pennsville really could have used. Clement tried to cut back and got the ball stripped from him. But nice job by Glassboro to be able to fall on and keep the drive alive. Take a look at it here. He cuts back towards the middle. It looks like the ball gets yanked loose right there by Eric Bundy. Good job to strip the ball, but Pennsville not able to come up with it.
Now 1st and 10 for the 46-yard line of Pennsville. Glassboro, as you see, already up 21-6, latter moments of this first quarter. Clement again, this time he's hit. Fights his way for a couple yards, but doesn't get much more as the Bulldogs able to get the initial surge, and Tim Esham makes the stop.
Esham enters with a whopping 162 tackles this year. The team leader by far, and probably one of the higher totals in the state. And he did a nice job of wrapping him up right there. And that's what Pennsville needs, more penetration right off the snap to be able to get a body on Clement quickly.
Able to get 3 on the play, so it is a 2nd down and 7 for the Pennsville 43-yard line for Glassboro. Gillespie will work under center, and Clement's got it again with a huge hole and plenty of room to run. Clement will go for his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon, and Glassboro increases its lead. A 43-yard touchdown run.
What explosiveness from Corey Clement. I mean, he hit that hole 100 miles an hour.
Offensive line gave him room, and Clement does the rest as he goes into another gear. And Glassboro on a roll early on.
I mean, look at this. They just give him a little bit of a crease, and he is gone. Some tough angles pursuit-wise from that secondary, and once he gets to that second level, forget about it. What an amazing start for a South Jersey back who's really carving his name into the record books.
9 carries, 118 yards on the day, and added 4 extra points as well. He's done all the scoring for Glassboro today as that extra point is good. It is 28-6 in favor of the Bulldogs, and we're only in the first quarter.
I mean, you knew this game was going to be high scoring, but you figured it'd be a little bit more back and forth, but so far it's been the Corey Clement show as he is breaking one big run after another. Already has the South Jersey single season rushing record. He's trying to put that thing into the stratosphere with a big game today. And right now, Pennsville, you got to think this is the time you're trying not to panic.
Well, later on, we'll be announcing our Watch ESPN Play of the Game. It's the ESPN Networks live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. Go to www.verizon.com/FiOS TV online for details. And we're going to pick a play of the game. Certainly, Corey Clement is making it competitive for us early on, as he has been his own human highlight film in this opening quarter.
And if you're Pennsville right now, you got to resist the urge to try and get it all back on one play. You know, you don't need to hit the 60-yard bomb on the first play because you don't want to throw an interception or do anything just because you're panicking. You still run your offense. You're going to get off a lot of plays in this game, so you just got to have confidence in what you do.
And Newsom will try to set the Eagles up in good field position. He goes down at about the 23. And so the Pennsville offense, so highly touted coming in, has struggled today. 2 turnovers so far, as the Pennsville offense on 4 possession has gone 8 plays, just 56 yards, 52 coming on the catch and run on 1 play, and just 1 first down. And we're late in the first quarter. Not very Pennsville-like numbers offensively.
Nah, and they entered the game averaging 38 points a game, and right now almost 6 is almost like being shut out for them for a quarter.
Cummings will set up the screen again. It's bobbled and dropped. They try the same play that worked earlier, but Crow can't hang on to the football. It's incomplete.
And again, sort of those timing issues. You know, we've seen a few passes behind Ryan Hawthorne coming across the middle. That time, Crow couldn't come up with the little screen pass. And they sold it pretty well as far as drawing in the defense, but again, it's just execution. Pennsville just trying to get things right here.
Might have heard the footsteps of Jameel Murray, who's had a very active first quarter. On 2nd and 10, Cummings will throw again. Down the middle, and the catch is made at the 30-yard line. Short of the first down is Drew Birdsell, but it sets up a much more manageable 3rd down.
And obviously, as soon as they reset that ball, they want to run another play. I mean, Ryan Wood is hoping for 70-plus plays from scrimmage in this game for his offense.
We'll mark it 3rd and 3 as Cummings will throw again over the middle, and the catch is made for the first down. Caught at the 39 again by Birdsall, same pattern. And just the 2nd first down of the game for the Eagles.
And Birdsall at only 5'7", 135, almost the same size as Cummings, but good quickness across the middle and nice hands.
As we're under 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter, the Eagles will set a 4-wide receiver set. Cummings looking for the rocket screen, but now on the fake he goes deep down the far side, and it is caught at the 30-yard line with room to run. Here goes Newsom turning for the end zone. He is tackled at about the 2. A tremendous catch. It's 1st and goal, Pennsville.
And that's how quickly the Pennsville offense can get right back into the game. What an individual effort by Colton Newsom, who had 922 yards receiving and 14 touchdowns coming into this game. Sells the pump fake. Nice job by Cummings to give the defense a little bit to think about, and then just a great effort to snatch it over a defender by Newsom.
Ralph Miller had good coverage. That's just a tremendous catch by Colton Newsom. And now on 1st and goal, the handoff up the middle, and Bundy is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Needed 3 to get in the end zone, as he is stopped by Tom Rementer, big man in the middle for the Bulldogs, the nose guard leading that defensive front.
And these are kind of these interesting situations for these shotgun spread offenses when they get inside the 10, which is traditionally kind of the downhill running area. Sometimes it get a little tricky to finish off the drive.
Cummings on play action on 2nd and goal. Has a man in the end zone. It's caught by Crow for the touchdown, and Pennsville scores for the 2nd time in this game.
And there's that high-octane Pennsville offense able to go right down the field in a short amount of time and retake this momentum and just slow down Glassboro. And obviously a big goal is to try and tire out that Glassboro defense. You know, good job on the play action fake. And this time, Crow is sure-handed in the end zone. Pennsville right back in it.
Hands on to attempt the extra point. She missed the first one, but she puts the second one through. Heather Anzu also plays for the girls basketball team at Pennsville. Adds the extra point. It's 28-13. Scott, you said it was a key drive for Pennsville. They certainly answered there.
Definitely. I mean, they were able to get the big play by sticking to what they do, and then clearly they got a tremendous individual effort by Colton Newsom. That was a play they really needed at this juncture before this game really started to get away from them. And we had 90 points in their first meeting. Now we're up to 41 in the first quarter. I mean, 90 points may seem like nothing by the end of this.
Well, fans, want to relive all of today's action again and again? Check out NJ.com/Game of the Week for complete game rebroadcasts from the convenience of your computer 24/7. You'll also find archive games from this past season and more. The Star Ledger/NJ.com, everything high school sports. Could be a lot of highlights to watch if you want to watch this replay over and over again. And with any other team, Scott, I think in South Jersey, you think, well, 28-6 in the first quarter, the game's over. Pennsville's one of the few teams you can make the exception with.
Yeah, absolutely. They are built to score in a hurry. It doesn't take them a long time to get down the field, so really no lead is safe against this team.
Oaksey will take the kick return near the 13. Has a hole up the middle and stumbles his way up close to the 37-yard line, so decent field position for Corey Clement and company. And you think about these two teams, as that drive was 6 plays, a minute 22, 77 yards. When you have great skill players, you're playing on a fast turf that's in great condition, no precipitation over the last couple days. That only enhances the offensive attack.
Well, and the other funny part is usually when you think a team is run heavy that they chew up the clock and take 6-7 minutes, but Corey Clement's breaking so many big runs that their possessions aren't even lasting that long.
So it's Clements coming out again, and Murray will serve as the fullback as they work out of the eye. On the 37-yard line, 1st and 10, and it's Clements who gets it, and is hit, stacked up. Good job by the Eagles defensively as they hold him to a gain of 2. Nice job once again by the leading tackler, Tim Esham, who continues to roll up his monster statistics this season. All of these Eagles, for the most part, playing both ways. Not a huge amount of players on this roster, so this is an Ironman team certainly in Pennsville.
And that's what the interesting thing is. Pennsville runs at such a crazy pace on offense, yet all of those players somehow have to find something to keep in the tank while they go out there in defense to try and stop Clement.
Set to go now on 2nd down and 9. Everybody tight to the line. It's the pitch to Clement. Looks to go back up the middle, able to break one tackle, but is stopped near the 43. So now the Bulldogs facing a 3rd down, a big chance for the Pennsville defense.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where seriously 4 or 5 stops maybe in the entire game could be the difference between winning and losing.
That's the end of a fast-paced first quarter with the score Glassboro 28, Pennsville 13. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Fios One Sports. Ed Benkin, Scott Stump back here in Glassboro. The score Glassboro 28, Pennsville 13. As we start the second quarter here on a beautiful day for championship football. Let's get more now on the sidelines from Alexa.
Hey Ed, you mentioned Corey Clement breaking school records on his touchdown run. He is chasing another school record career rush yards. Entering today, he needed 397 yards to break that record. He'll get closer today, but considering he's only a junior, he'll probably break that record next season. Ed?
Thank you very much. And breaking records, Alexa, something we'll be talking a lot about, certainly with Clements, as he continues to rewrite the record books in South Jersey. Gillespie to pass on 3rd down. Under pressure and will look to run, and he's knocked out of bounds, shy of the 1st down. So for the first time today, the Pennsville defense able to answer to set up a 4th down.
I was beginning to wonder if either of these teams even had a punter. I guess we were going to find out.
Well, each team has only punted once so far, and Glassboro, as Gillespie was stopped right there, very underrated passing attack, but good coverage by the Eagles. So much talk about Clement. Gillespie certainly put up some good numbers as well. So now on 4th and 5, they'll get set to punt it away. Back deep once again is Hawthorne for the Eagles. James will punt for Glassboro.
And we know what happened on the last one, but it doesn't look like this one's going to be returned.
Short punt takes a somewhat reasonable Glassboro bounce as it'll work down to the 37-yard line. So Pennsville at 1 point down, 28-6, scoring with a touchdown and making a defensive stand. Just a 16-yard punt for James.
And any defensive stop is huge, given the ability of the Pennsville offense. I mean, you got to think if they could get 2 stops in a row, they might be able to tie this game.
Well, here comes that fast-paced 2-minute offense on 1st and 10 from the 37. As working out of the shotgun again is Cummings. Bulldogs show blitz. Cummings facing some pressure. He's wrapped up and brought down for the sack at about the 27-yard line. All the talk about Corey Clements offensively. He gets the big play defensively on the sack.
And great pressure again by Dan Klatsky from up front, able to spin Cummings right into Clement, as we see right here. Flushes him from the pocket, and as he tries to spin away, you're not going to get away from Corey Clement.
Ball now marked back 13 yards, so it's a 2nd and 23 for the Eagles. And Cummings will put it up here with a little bit less of a pass rush. Looking to go down the far sideline. It's intercepted. Picked off of the far sideline, and the Eagles have another interception. The 3rd turnover of the day for Glassboro, as Jawan Johnson, who had a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown, has his 2nd pick of the afternoon.
Great effort. I mean, again, that was almost a jump ball. Before we saw Colton Newsom of Pennsville come down with it. This time, Jawan Johnson able to read the play and step in front of it. And again, that's what I think about sometimes trying to do too much and take a shot that might not be there. And that's 3 turnovers now, and shaping up to be an outstanding day defensively for Jawan Johnson.
Meanwhile, first quarter yards, 132 for Glassboro, 124 of those on the ground, 138 for Pennsville, 134 of those in the air. And now on the carry, looking to slice his way through, as Murray is opening it down to about the 39-yard line.
It looks like the ball came loose at the end of that.
Still fighting for the pile. Let's see who's got the football. There was no signal that there was down by contact, and Pennsville gets its first turnover. And also a flag down on the play. I'm not sure if that came after the turnover. Looks like it will be Pennsville ball regardless. But we'll check the flag. That was one of those where the ball probably changed hands about 6 times. But we'll check the call. Penalty against Glassboro declined. And the illegal shifts off, first down for Pennsville, and the Eagles defense answers with its own turnover.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe the play was dead there as he's caught in a pack. Good job to strip the ball there right now near the bottom of the pile. And that's exactly what this Pennsville defense needs to come up with, is turnovers. Get that offense more possessions.
Got a great look at the ball coming loose, and Joe Starcevich able to fall on it for Pennsville. On first down, Crow looking to run to the far side. Doesn't get much as he stacked up for a gain of about 1. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 for the Eagles.
And this is like a ping pong match. The ball's just going back and forth, either in the end zone or turnovers and special teams returns. Definitely does not lack for excitement today.
2nd down and 9 now with the ball on the 40-yard line. Bulldogs coming with a blitz, and Cummings stands in and throws. Incomplete pass, but a penalty flag comes down. There was contact before the ball arrived. And that'll set up what looks like will be close to the first down marker, the spot of the infraction.
Yeah, it looks like Jawan Johnson, who already has 2 picks in this game, made a little contact before the ball got there, and it's going to be pass interference on Glassboro.
So it'll be a first down on the pass interference penalty, and they'll take the ball down into Glassboro territory near the 45.
Yeah, that was Eric Bundy coming across the middle, just made contact with him in his back there and moved the chains for the Eagles.
On the 45-yard line of Glassboro, and the Bulldogs appear to have jumped offside. That will cost them 5 more.
And that's the 2nd time that Dylan Cummings has gotten them with that hard count to jump off sides. And right now the Glassboro defense needs to kind of get its composure.
So a 1st and 5 now on the 40-yard line of Glassboro for the Eagles, looking to slice into their deficit. Cummings again will throw out of the shotgun, going deep down the near side. Hawthorne can't get it, it's incomplete. He was able to snatch one earlier with double coverage. This time the Bulldogs able to knock it away.
Yeah, it looked like Quentin Rothmiller making a nice play on the ball as Cummings takes another shot to see if Newsom can win the jump ball deep down the sidelines here, but Rothmiller able to reach out with that left hand at the last instant and knock it away. Great play.
So a 2nd and 5 from the 40-yard line of Glassboro as Cummings will throw again. Screen goes to Crow. Breaks the first tackle and has the first down as he takes it inside the 30-yard line. He had 1 man to beat to get the first down, and he takes it to the 28, a gain of 16.
Ryan Wood really dialing up that screenplay at opportune times. Just when he senses that the Glassboro defense may send pressure or be a little too aggressive, he's able to suck the defense in, and Cummings putting it right over the top to Crow does a great job of slipping that first tackle for some great yards after the contact.
Now On the work from the 28-yard line as Crow gets the carry, and he runs right into the teeth of that Glassboro defense for no gain. Bulldogs stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Everybody in on the tackle. So it sets up a 2nd down and 10 as quickly they go right back to the line of scrimmage to the Eagles. It's the only way they run their offense. It's a 2-minute no-huddle attack. They've run it from start to finish, first to fourth quarter each game. Cummings under pressure is able to flutter it outside, and the catch is made near the 20-yard line as Birdsall makes his 3rd reception of the game, about a yard shy of the 1st down.
And there's just so many weapons on this Pennsville offense. I mean, we've seen Ryan Hawthorne with the great punt return, Colton Newsom with a tremendous catch before, Monty Crow on the screen passes, and now Drew Birdsall with another catch. I mean, there's just so many guys you have to worry about defending.
3rd and a short 2 for the Eagles. Getting the carry and lunging forward is Bundy's. He spins away for the 1st down and more, taking it down to the 15. Was stopped close to the marker, but his 2nd effort gets him a 1st down, a 5-yard pickup.
Excellent job by the sophomore, 185-pound Eric Bundy to keep his feet. It looked like he might go down, but he kept the feet running, spun around. It looks like we may have a lineman down here for Pennsville.
That is Hiles, a great two-way player for this Pennsville team. Boy, some tremendous 2nd effort. This is an example of some young men out here playing today, winning that championship and really giving it all this afternoon here in Glassboro. So Hiles still shaken up, and Pennsville 2 for 3 now on 3rd down conversions after picking that one up. We have a moment. We'll step aside and take a break. It's Glassboro leading Pennsville 28-13. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Fios One Sports. Back here at Rowan, the score 28-13 Glassboro as a moment ago an injury timeout, not a good sign as Hiles, again, one of the most valuable players on both lines for Pennsville, getting helped off the field. And well, you hate to see that in any situation. When you get to this day, the championship game, you have to get taken off. It's certainly a frustrating feeling.
And I also think it's a bigger factor at the Group 1 level where there's not as much depth to come off the bench. I mean, to have a guy who starts both ways for you, has almost 50 tackles also on defense, that's tough to replace midstream in a state championship game.
So 1st and 10 on the 15 for Pennsville, trailing by 15. Some confusion in the backfield, and able to get the handoff, but getting hit immediately is Bundy. And that play just didn't seem to click from the start.
And you wonder, you have another lineman in there, that things might have been a little bit out of sync. Also in the backfield, just some miscommunication, guys running into one another, and that's just a play you have to forget about and move on here. As 3 guys converging on the ball at once. Bundy at least trying to make something out of nothing, but we'll just have to kind of just scrap that one in their minds and get right to this next play.
So a 2nd and 11 from the 16 as Cummings sets up the screen. Far side to Bundy. To the 10, on his feet, pushed out of bounds shy of the 1st down. Fine catch and run, however, as he takes it down near the 6.
Excellent job to get Eric Bundy the ball in space out there on the perimeter, and with a nice stiff arm to turn the corner, get another 4 or 5 yards.
So a 3rd and 1 coming up from the 6-yard line for Pennsville. And they've had to, unlike the earlier drives, have to get this drive going chunk by chunk, some shorter yardage given up by the Glassboro defense, but now a 3rd and 1. It's Crow. He stopped and he did not make it. Might have lost a yard as he's dragged down immediately. And the Glassboro defense doing the job as several Bulldogs in to make the stop. And it looked like it was Haltywagger who made the play.
Good job not to let him get free for that extra yard. Crucial play, and now it looks like you're forcing Pennsville to go for it here on 4th down. This is a big play.
It's a 4th and 3 from the 8-yard line. Big play in this game as the Eagles will go for it down by 15. He's getting everybody set as he's got 3 receivers now. Whistle. I think Pennsville will take time out, and they do. So the Eagles on this critical play will talk it over as Ryan Wood comes out to talk to his team. So, again, a critical situation right here, Scott. The one plus side, if you don't make it for Pennsville, you've got Glassboro pinned deep. Now, obviously, the way this offense goes, no surprise they go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is field position, I don't think is necessarily as big with how good these offenses are, in the sense that Corey Clement, it's first and goal, any play from anywhere on the field. So you just don't want to give it back to them without at least closing the gap on the scoreboard. They've tried to find Ryan Hawthorne coming across the middle here a few times, and we'll see what they do on this one.
Well, fans, don't forget to enroll in the Verizon Share the Network program, and you and every person you refer to Verizon can get up to $50 apiece, so everyone wins. Earn up to $600 in rewards a year, and reward cards good at top-name retailers where American Express cards are welcome. It's a win-win situation. Your friend gets the entertainment, power, and reliability of the network, and you both get rewarded. The Verizon Share the Network program. Enroll today at sharethenetwork.com/7. So Mark Macarone a moment ago, boy, he was fired up certainly before the games got. I think the coaches were as excited as the players to get started.
Yeah, I'm going to guess he didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night and probably tucked into a couple Red Bulls or cups of coffee before we talked to him.
Well, the Eagles just 7 yards on the ground. Will probably go to the air here on 4th down and 3. Cummings with room to run. Looking for the first down, now throws, and it's incomplete. Looked like he could have ran for the first down even though he had an open man, but he can't connect in the end zone as Birdsall just unable to come up with the football.
Tough decision for Dylan Cummings out there. You're right. He turns the corner, and there is daylight. The defender is closing, and first it looked like he was going to tuck it and go for it, and at the last instant he tried to make the pass as he sees Drew Birdsall coming across the back of the end zone. And that one hurts. I mean, that might be one, if you're Pennsville, you look back on this game, if it doesn't go your way, and you're really going to want that one back. We'll see if the defense can keep Glassboro pinned down here.
Looked as if he might have just stumbled a little bit as well, or that pass might have been on target. So the Bulldogs able to hold, leading 28-13 here in the second quarter. Now we'll see if Clements goes to work as they work with the backs in the eye. Clements gets the carry, rumbles through across the 10, and gets to about the 13. A tremendous burst on that line once again as Clements finds room.
Yeah, and here, if you're Glassboro, I mean, with Clement, a best case scenario would be you knock about 6 minutes off the clock here, go all the way down the field, and go into halftime with a big lead and not give Pennsville a lot of time to come back and score it all before the end of this half. I mean, this could be a drive to really set the tone for this game.
Well, that last drive by Pennsville going for 3:27, 11-play drive, the longest for either side, but now Clement with that run sets up a 2nd and 5 for Glassboro on the 13. Clement again. This time stopped at about the 18-yard line. As doesn't get too much, but able to get that extra surge close to the first down marker, will be about a yard shy.
And this is just a tough spot for the Pennsville defense to be in. I mean, Glassboro's so hard to defend in that 3rd and 2 spot. To have to try and consistently put Corey Clement on the ground on 3rd and 2 is a pretty tough proposition. So this is exactly what Glassboro is looking for.
So a 3rd and 1 coming up for Glassboro.
Everyone at the line of scrimmage right now for Pennsville.
Any guess what they want to do here? It's Clement. Bobbles the ball and is stopped in the backfield for a loss as the Pennsville defense holds, forcing a 4th down. While we have an injury update, let's get more on the sidelines from Alexa.
Thanks, Ed. An update for Kane Hiles. He injured his left ankle. He already wears a brace on it from a previous injury. The trainer took off his shoe and felt around his tendon. Said nothing looks broken. It just looks like a bad sprain. They're going to give him until halftime to see if he's going to come out here in the second half. Ed?
Thank you, Alexa. As Eric Bundy makes that big stop on 3rd down. The Bulldogs now 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, and the Eagles should get excellent field position here. Bunton will go into Glassboro territory and trying to fight his way through traffic and getting taken down near the 46 is Hawthorne. But still, excellent field position for the Eagles. Denied a few moments ago on the doorstep of a touchdown. Will go to work again.
Yeah, great job by the defense to keep Glassboro pinned down there. They overloaded that left side, and that's where the play ended up going. Great defensive play call there, and now you're right back in business on the Glassboro side of the field. And we'll see if Pennsville can get right back down there near that end zone again.
So James with a 33-yard punt, 1st and 10 on the 46 of Glassboro. As Cummings sets up the screen again to Crow, and now Crow looks to reverse his field. Knocked down back in Pennsville territory at the 49, and again the quick Glassboro defense in to make the play as Ronnie James makes the stop.
Yeah, Crow kind of had to freelance on that one a little bit because it looked like the ball got tipped right there, hung it up just long enough that he had to try and cut back against the defense, but nice open field tackle by Alessia.
Alessia, as you saw, also forcing the pressure as well, so now a 2nd and 14 from midfield. Pressure on Cummings, tries to screen again to Crow, and can't break the first tackle as he stopped right near the line of scrimmage. The Bulldogs, tremendous so far defensively, as Jawan Johnson, who's having a huge day, makes the stop.
Yeah, already 2 interceptions today. Now a great open field tackle. They're really trying to kill them with that screenplay, but it looks like Glassboro has made the adjustment and has been able to slow that play down a lot, and now you have 3rd and long.
3rd and 14 from midfield for the Eagles. And it looks like someone lined up in the neutral zone for Glassboro, and that will cost the Bulldogs 5 as Chase Collins came across.
That's the 3rd time today that Dylan Cummings has been able to get that Glassboro front to jump offside, so they're going to have to make that adjustment to his cadence because you can't just keep giving this offense free yards.
That's the 4th penalty of the game for the Bulldogs, adding up for 30 yards. So now a little more manageable 3rd and 9 for the Eagles. The ball on the 46 of Glassboro. Cummings has time to throw, and now nobody open as the pocket collapses. He's brought down for the sack back at the 47. Excellent coverage downfield, and the Eagles forced a punt on 4th down.
It looks like Corey Clement belted him at the end there. The pocket collapses around him. Right there, you got to get rid of the ball. And you're not going to get away from Clement, as you see here, puts Cummings on the ground. And suddenly this has become a defensive game.
Didn't seem that way early on.
Yeah,
but
how did that happen?
And Clement with sort of an easy sack right there as he's able to get in and get the contact. And this forces a Pennsville punt as Newsom will launch one. Takes a bounce at the 30-yard line. Eagles let it roll down near the 25. And just inside the 25 is where Glassboro will start with just over 3 minutes to play in the first half. A 27-yard punt, and I think right now you're Glassboro. I think you have to feel good about the fact that while you haven't been able to get the offense on track in the second quarter, you've denied Pennsville 2 golden opportunities.
Well, they've done 2 things they didn't do the first time. One is they've got a really consistent pass rush. I mean, Cummings has been under fire on a lot of snaps back there, and the other is they've created turnovers. You know, they got the 2 interceptions, both of which they, really turned into points. So, and they got the fumble, they turned into points. So defensively, they've made a major improvement from the first time these 2 teams have met.
So Gillespie will work on a 1st and 10 from the 25 as Clement looking for room on the far side. Clement's got room. Clement down the far sideline. Another big gain inside the 40, out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Corey Clement, unstoppable in the open field.
Well, there is a flag down, so we'll see if the play does stand. I mean, he did a great job slipping that last tackle to break it. We'll see what the officials have to say here.
Judging by the body language of the Bulldogs, this might be a hold against Glassboro, and this one would come back. Illegal block in the back, so the 5th penalty of the game for Glassboro wipes out another big run for Clement.
Yeah, great job to bounce outside, but it was one of those holding penalties that really did affect the play. It's not like it was away from the play. A big reason he was able to break that was because a Pennsville defender in backside pursuit got dragged to the ground there at the beginning of the play.
So that wipes out what would have been a 44-yard gain, as you got a good look at it with Dan Klatsky with the push in the back, and that will move the football back to the 23. So it's a 1st and 12 now for Glassboro with under 3 to play. The Bulldogs with all 28 points, in case you're just joining us in the opening quarter, leading Pennsville 28-13. Number 1 versus number 2 seeds here in South Jersey Group 1. Clement again is tripped up and brought down near the 21. That was actually Rothmiller with the carry and didn't get out of the backfield. So the Eagles starting to turn it up defensively. Is making the play for Pennsville was Colin Bunch.
Just gets a fingertip right there on his right ankle, and that was all he needed. Great job.
That'll be a 2-yard loss, and now a 2nd and 14. A tale of 2 quarters here, certainly a Rowan. Lots of points in the opening quarter, and the defense is settling things down here in the second. So the ball on the 21-yard line. Glassboro goes to work with a 2nd and 14. Gillespie thrown for over 1,000 yards this season. Hasn't gone to work too much with the aerial attack. Let's see if he puts it up here.
Yeah, you're wondering when they're finally going to take a shot, maybe on play action.
Instead, it's the belly and running it up to about the 27-yard line for a gain of about 6 yards on the play. And is getting the carry up front, trying to find some room early. And not going to find much room was Rothmiller. So now a third down coming up as they'll spot at the 8-yard line. No chance now for Glassboro. A little more manageable third down. Good crowd on hand. Again, a beautiful afternoon here in Rowan.
And you know the Glassboro fans didn't exactly have to come a whole long way to get here.
Probably the first walking road trip for either team or anywhere in the history of New Jersey State Championship football. As Gillespie on 3rd and 8 will put it up far side, incomplete. Overthrew his receiver, excellent coverage on the play as Alacia was out there, but watch step for step by Hawthorne. And that will force a Glassboro punt, so the defense is indeed settling in here.
And that's what the Pennsville defense wants. They want Glassboro in that 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, where we know you're going to have to throw the ball because that's just an uncomfortable spot for the Bulldogs offense, which revolves so much around Clement and the running game.
So Hawthorne and Newsom back deep as James set to putt it away for Glassboro. Line drive kick. Ball bounces inside the 40. Good Glassboro roll inside the 30. And the Bulldogs will down it near the 29-yard line. So in a game which the field position is tilted Pennsville's way, a 44-yard punt pins the Eagles deep.
And I think it's a little tricky fielding punts on that side of the field with the sun right in your eyes. I know before Ryan Hawthorne hesitated catching that last punt prior to this one just because that sun is shining directly in your face. So there may be some hesitation to even field it, and favorable bounce for Glassboro.
Well, mark it at the 29-yard line. But Glassboro, the last 4 possessions, 3 punts with a fumble mixed in as well as the Pennsville defense has stepped it up. Glassboro defense has played well also, so we'll see what the Eagles can do from the 29-yard line as Cummings overthrows his man as it's incomplete, trying to throw it to Newsom. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
And you see Newsom shaking his head a little bit, knowing that play was, again, just a few inches away from being a big one. And there's a couple passes behind the receivers, a little bit high on that one. I mean, Cummings, a sophomore playing in a state final, I think just trying to find some poise here and settle in. Clearly he has the talent. I think just the little 4 or 5 inches off on these throws.
So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 from the 29-yard line as we have just over a minute to play in this opening half. Everybody up to the line for Glassboro as they send the rush. Cummings gets it away. It's intercepted. 3rd interception of the game for Glassboro. And they will bring it down inside the 25-yard line. Jawan Johnson with another interception, his 3rd of the first half.
Might have to start paging through the record books for most interceptions in a state final. I mean, Jawan Johnson with 3 in the first half. That's incredible, just using that 6'3" length and some good anticipation to hop right in front of that one. We take another look right here. Throws back off his back foot. Doesn't get a lot on the ball, and Johnson is able to step right in front of it.
So another interception for the Bulldogs.
And that's really a killer with only 55 seconds left in the half to give Glassboro this kind of field position.
And Bulldogs still have their timeouts remaining. Pennsville has used 1 of this half as Clement will get the carry with a hold to the far side. Sidesteps his way towards the sidelines, still on his feet, and is finally hurtled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. That will give Glassboro a 1st down. It will also stop the clock.
And he really gave you a taste of what makes him great on that one. Vision, speed, and power. You see right here, he sees the plays blocked up the middle, so he bounces it outside again. Then Hawthorne has a beat on him. He stiff arms him into the ground and able to leap into the air for another 4 yards. That kind of encapsulates everything that makes Corey Clement great right there.
Well, he has 3 touchdowns today, and he sets the Bulldogs up after that 20-yard gain on a 1st and goal from the 8. 15 carries, 149 yards, and looking for 8 more possibly on this play. Clements gets the call. Met at the line of scrimmage this time, maybe gets a yard, and we'll see if Glassboro takes its first time out. And the Bulldogs do, as that will stop the clock with 40.7 seconds to play in the first half. Good play right there by Anthony DeVito, who makes the stop for the Eagles. So critical stretch right here. And Pennsville started to get the momentum back, but now Glassboro knocking on the door again.
And again, turnovers really coming back to haunt Pennsville as Glassboro is really making them pay so far for several turnovers. And now, this could be the third one they've cashed in for a touchdown.
Well, do you want to help your school or any 501c nonprofit raise funds easily with no direct selling? Enroll them in the Verizon Velocity fundraising program. And Verizon will make donations when supporters order new qualifying Verizon products. Nonprofits can receive up to $65 for every new Verizon Triple Play order, which can add up fast. To learn more, visit www.verizon.com/velocity. And Benkin, Scott Stump here, and the Pennsville Eagles trailing in this game 28-13, a dizzying start for the mascot as well. With Glassboro knocking on the door for more here, they have a 2nd and goal on the 8-yard line. Glassboro, of course, a great tradition. Has won its share of championships. Pennsville looking for its first since 1981. Trying to break the 30-year drought, but Glassboro looking to increase its lead here. Great situation here. The Bulldogs can try to get the touchdown, also work much of the clock off for the rest of the half. Pitch to Clement. Sidesteps a couple of defenders, trying to break free. He stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Good job defensively by the Eagles once again, as it's Bunch who makes the stop. Like he lost his shoe on the play as well as he gets it back on. Another timeout taken here with 31.7 to go in the half.
You get him on the ground by any means necessary, even if it means pulling his shoes off. I mean, great tackle on the cutback where Clement's really been killing him on those cutback runs, but able to, again, just get enough of that ankle to trip him up.
Reminds you a little bit of a certain running back on another group of Eagles that has those kinds of shifty moves in the midst of traffic. Little LaShawn McCoy-like. Here you see player who was injured earlier for Pennsville, that is Hiles, and I think that look tells it all. The frustration having to sit out. Don't know, as Alexa mentioned, whether he will be able to return yet in the second half.
And he's one of their bigger linemen as well, as far as just getting that pass protection, giving Cummings time to throw, even though he is only a sophomore. And he also is a stalwart up front, so that's definitely a tough loss for them, especially with an offense that requires so much precision and quickness and running plays at a high tempo. It's tough when you have to throw someone new in there.
Well, Glassboro 1 for 5 on third downs, and already certainly in field goal range with the way Clement, in addition to his running ability, can kick the ball as well. But let's see if Clement gets the carry here. He's in the backfield with Rothmiller on 3rd and goal from the 8. Gillespie over the middle. It's knocked away, incomplete. Had a couple of receivers going over the middle, but Hawthorne was there to knock it away.
And it looked like maybe Tim Isham got his hands on it as well. That's a big, big stop right there for Pennsville. Trying to get the throw across the middle. That is Isham that's able to tip it away.
Let's see if Clement is on to attempt the field goal now. Juwan Johnson says, hey, I've got 3 catches on defense. He wanted one on offense there, but the Eagles had him well covered. And Clement will indeed try the field goal. It will be from 25 yards away. He's perfect on extra points so far today, 4 of 4. As they fake it, Gillespie throwing for the end zone. It's intercepted. Eagles look to work it back the other way as Newsom has it. And he's got room down the far sideline and one man to beat. Clement saves the touchdown. Has plenty of room in front for Newsom. The Eagles will take over at midfield, so they go for the fake, and the Eagles are ready.
Still an outstanding job by Corey Clement to not give up on that play, or Newsom's probably gone. Not sure if that was a planned fake or not, just because the snap was high. Gillespie tried to make the best of it. Newsom here looks like he's gone. Great pursuit angle by Clement, able to put him on the ground. He saves a touchdown right there, which would have completely swung the momentum going into halftime.
Well, still 15.6 seconds left, and the ball at the 48-yard line of Glassboro for Cummings. We'll put it up here as they'll try to air it out deep, but again he's brought down for the sack. Well, the ferocious Glassboro pass rush does the job again as Alicia brings him down for the sack. And I see the signal for a timeout, but the clock is still running. The clock is at 0, but I believe the timeout was taken before the clock ran out. So probably about 4 or 5 seconds to play. We'll add that on the clock, and that'll give the Eagles one more chance to put it up deep.
And number 55, Dan Klasky, the senior defensive lineman, he has been in Cummings' face the entire game. Again, just jacked up an offensive lineman, pushed him right back into the quarterback. His ability to get to the passer has completely changed things from the first time these meetings. You see him right here, he basically blows through a defender. They collapse the pocket. And he's become such a pain for that Pennsville offensive line that he may change what they do in the second half.
3 sacks in this first half for Glassboro as Ryan Wood goes back to the sideline. Well, it's one of the coach's favorite plays here with now 5.1 seconds in the half. It's the Sandlot play. Everybody go deep and throw it up.
Either that or maybe we'll see a little hook and lateral across the middle of the field, some kind of trick play or something like that.
Well, Cummings will get one last shot here before the end of the half. Glassboro's put plenty of pressure on them all day, and they do again to the Bulldogs. Cummings able to get it away. It floats up and is caught. And trying to turn and look for room is Bundy, still on his feet, and is finally hit hard right outside the 20-yard line as a thrilling first half comes to an end here at Richard Wacker Stadium. Glassboro and Pennsville for the Group 1 South title. The score, Glassboro 28, Pennsville 13. As we reach one half of play, you're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. Back here at Rowan University at Benkin along with Scott Stump and Alexa Datt. Score after one half of play, Glassboro 28, Pennsville 13. Time now to take a look at our halftime highlights, which are brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's the ESPN networks live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. Go to www.verizon.com/FiosTV online for details. Well, we may be able to get to the third quarter with all the highlights so far in this half.
Yeah, it was big plays galore, and Pennsville's Ryan Hawthorne kicks it off, starting the fireworks with a 64-yard punt return for a touchdown in the first quarter, and that was just the opening shot in a game that has featured one explosive play after another. Here you're going to see Glassboro's Jawan Johnson catches the tip pass, and those 6'3" long strides eat up 99 yards the other way to send a jolt through the crowd that only had to walk across the street for this one. Glassboro sends a big message with that one, and then they go to their big-time running back, the record-breaking Corey Clement, South Jersey's single-season rushing leader, with a 48-yard touchdown there. And then Pennsville has a spot to close the gap here down near the goal line, not able to convert as Dylan Cummings could not connect with the receiver there. And then we have Jawan Johnson again with his third pick of the half. He's really been dialed in on Dylan Cummings and that passing attack, and a lot of that has to do with some great pressure up front. And then Glassboro lining up for a field goal here, snap a little high. Pennsville's Colton Newsom steps in front of it. Looks like he's gone. Corey Clement takes a great pursuit angle, puts him on the ground to save a touchdown before the half.
And take a look at the numbers in that first half. And no surprise that Pennsville's numbers coming from the passing attack and Glassboro from the rushing attack. Pretty even, though, however, in total yards. The big number, the turnovers.
That's just the one I was going to bring up. And Jawan Johnson, the defensive back for Glassboro, responsible for 3 of those Pennsville turnovers, 2 of which Glassboro's turned into points. So right now, that's really the big story. I mean, Pennsville needs to cut down on the turnovers in the second half. Glassboro mounting a much better pass rush than it did in the first meeting between these teams in the regular season. But as for everything else, as expected, Glassboro on the ground, Pennsville through the air.
We'll get ready for the start of the second half when we return. Halftime in the South Group 1 Championship. It's Glassboro 28, Pennsville 13. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Fios 1 Sports. Back here in Glassboro, Ed Benkin along with Scott Stump and Alexa Datt. Halftime, it is 28-13 in favor of Glassboro. Team set to start the second half. Let's get more on the sidelines from Alexa.
Thanks, Ed. I spoke to both coaches at the half. Coach Wood said we were bullied around in the first half, so we made some adjustments in the locker room. Said he wanted his team to be more physical, more protection up front. Coach Marone said that he was happy with his offense. He said he was also happy with his defense, but his offense needed a little bit more improvement. He wanted more touchdowns. He said he's going to tell his guys, you have 24 more minutes left in your high school career. Go out and be men. Ed?
Thank you very much, Alexa. And we revisit our Verizon 411 keys to the game. Run protection limiting turnovers. The second one certainly a problem for Pennsville in that first half.
Yeah, pass protection not as good as it was in their first meeting. They've been able to conversely get a pass rush, as we saw the key there for Glassboro. We'll see if they're able to shore up that pass protection here in the second half.
Newsom looking to go around the edge, gets across the 30 and is pushed out of bounds near the 34-yard line. Well, the other side of it, too, is the fact that despite the 4 turnovers, if you're Pennsville, you could be down by a lot more than 15 points.
Yeah, I think Pennsville's defense did a really nice job of just holding the fort, especially when they were given short fields and a lot of other tough situations because of turnovers. To be able to hold Clement and those guys off the scoreboard any further, at least let them hang around long enough to get this offense in gear.
Here comes Cummings with a 1st and 10, sets up the screen, it's intercepted, going to the far side with plenty of room is Elysian, he's in for the touchdown. So the 5th turnover of the game for Pennsville results in a touchdown to start the second half for Glassboro.
And that's the second pick 6 of the game. The last one was 99 yards, this one a lot shorter, but totally jumped the route. And again, what a statement by Glassboro right off the bat here in the second half. That was an easy one. Once Alicia read the play, he's untouched. And now Pennsville's really in a hole, and the Glassboro defense just producing one turnover after another.
As Clement is on to attempt the extra point, we mentioned the 5th turnover and the 4th interception by Cummings in this game. Extra point is up and good, and Glassboro, 15 seconds into the second half, makes it 35-13. Well, we know that Pennsville loves to run that screen, and as the game went on, Glassboro did a better job play-by-play of shutting it down. Well, they really did the job there.
And that's the kind of stuff you get from film studies. Sitting in the room, you see a certain formation, you have an idea they've run this play before, you've seen it before, and Antoine Alicia reads it the whole way, completely jumps the route. I mean, that's the stuff that you do off the field, preparing for the game can pay huge dividends once you're on the field.
34-yard interception return for you Super Bowl aficionados. Looked like Jack Squirick for the Raiders against the Redskins back in Super Bowl 18, picking off the screen pass and having an open field to run in for the touchdown. That was the big play of that game. That's certainly one of the big plays here as Glassboro now up 35-13.
And you wonder, is the Pennsville offense going to get a little more conservative or maybe take certain plays out of the playbook just because so many turnovers in the passing game?
Other factor is, too, these teams are gotten to know each other pretty well. This is their 4th game in 2 years, and maybe that helps the Glassboro defense. Newsom stumbles and falls to the 24, but getting back to that point, it's tough to stop this Pennsville attack, but Glassboro now has seen it, counting today 4 times. That has to work as somewhat of an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the advantage Pennsville has over a lot of teams is the other team only has a week to prepare for this blitzkrieg coming at them, whereas Glassboro, like you said, has seen it multiple times, knows what they're going to do. And we talked to, Coach Ryan Wood before the game. He said, we're not really going to change what we do. We do what we do in this run and gun offense, so it's not like they were going to make any major adjustments.
Well, here's Crow running to the far side, but he is stacked up, fighting for extra yardage, but doesn't have much room to run. Well, there's been some great second effort for both sides, but again, the Glassboro quickness of that defensive front, able to shut him down.
And Glassboro's really made Pennsville just completely one-dimensional. I mean, and we know they're a heavy passing team, but the running game hasn't even really been an option as we see them not letting him Crow turn the corner there.
Hoaxie makes the tackle. Good pressure up the middle by Clement as well. And now on second down, Cummings looking to go down the middle. It's incomplete as he had a man open as Bundy was crossing near midfield.
And I think that's been kind of the story of the day, besides the turnovers of this passing game, is that timing is just a little bit off. Guys are getting some separation, but that pass is just a foot behind or a foot above, and then just not able to connect and hit that big play.
And I saw the stop on first down on the run. Glassboro holding Pennsville to 19 yards rushing. 3rd and 12 now for the Eagles. Cummings looking over the middle. Nice catch made. Now trying to break free with room on the near side is Newsom. Newsom with a great second effort gets the first down across the 40 to the 42. Newsom caught it about 5 yards shy, but he did the rest. First down for Pennsville.
And Pennsville badly needed that. That's the second play in this game where Colton Newsom has basically been one-on-one for a ball that's pretty much almost up for grabs between him and a defender and has made a play. great individual effort there for a much-needed first down.
An 18-yard pickup, and now 1st and 10 from the 42. And we get another whistle. And let's see if there's a timeout taken or there's a flag down on the field. No signal yet from the official. Offside against Glassboro. So the flag was down. Another offsides penalty against the Bulldogs. Easy to be antsy to try to get some pressure on this passing attack.
And I believe that's the 4th time Dylan Cummings has gotten Glassboro to jump off sides. So that's been working. Now you just got to start consistently getting some completions here.
6 penalties for 37 yards for Glassboro, and now Cummings airing it out along the far sideline, incomplete as he looked for Hawthorne, but it was broken up nicely as Ronnie James able to make the contact.
And you were wondering when Cummings was finally going to go up top to Hawthorne. I mean, Ryan Hawthorne's been his go-to guy all season, over 1,000 yards receiving, had 12 touchdowns coming into the game. Little double move here. Ball kind of hung up there a little bit, nearly made a great catch, but just couldn't hang on while also trying to stay in bounds.
So they air it out on 1st and 5. It's an incomplete pass. Now a 2nd and 5 as Cummings will face the Glassboro pass rush and set up the screen. Crow spinning away from tackles, has the first down now near the 40-yard line. They'll mark him down to the 39 as Crow picks his way through the Glassboro defense.
And that's one that's got to make Coach Mark Macarone pretty upset for Glassboro, because it looks like you have the play snuffed out. A couple of guys are there, but great effort by Crow. Lose one tackle, spin out of another one, and able to get those extra yards to move the chains.
A 12-yard gain makes it a 1st and 10 on the 39. Cummings will air it out deep once again down the near sideline as it's thrown out of bounds. Hawthorne, the intended receiver, he was covered well once again.
But it's clear that at halftime they said we have to get Ryan Hawthorne more involved in this passing game. He did have the great punt return touchdown, but really hasn't done a whole lot receiving-wise. So you can tell there's more of an emphasis on trying to take some shots down the field with him. You just got to give him a chance on that play.
It's Crow with 5 catches for 78 yards. That's good news in one stat for Pennsville, but as you alluded to, Scott, the receivers having a difficult time so far today. So now a 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line. Cummings hit from the blind side. It's incomplete. Fortunate to get that one off because Clement came in and laid a huge hit on him right near midfield.
And for as much as we talked about his records and all the amazing offensive stats, he's really been a disruptive player defensively today with a couple sacks right there. Gets a good shot on Cummings. We saw him run down Newsom to end the half and save a touchdown before. I mean, he is just making plays all over the field.
That will bring up a 3rd and 10 for the 39. You would think essentially 4-down territory for Pennsville in this situation. Cummings to throw again deep, and it's short and incomplete. And once again, the fierce pass rush of Clement, who helps Cummings out. They see a lot of each other today, and Clement helping him up after that pressure forced the errant throw.
And the other thing is, we talked about it, Dylan Cummings is not exactly the biggest kid in the world, 5'8", about 140 pounds. You wonder how many shots he can take. He probably hasn't been hit like this consistently much at all this season.
They'll go for it here on 4th and 10 on the Glassboro 39. Bulldogs showing blitz. Cummings has to air it out under tremendous pressure, gets it downfield. It is caught, but out of bounds, incomplete. Catch was made, but stepping out of bounds and not able to get a foot in his Birdsall. And again, intense pressure from the Glassboro front.
And this time it was Dan Klasky in number 55, who also has set up shop in that Pennsville backfield today, either causing sacks for his teammates, forcing rushed incompletions. Dramatic change in the ability to get to the passer for the Glassboro defense today. As we take a look at the stats, I mean, Gillespie obviously hasn't had to throw the ball a whole lot with Clement, but the 4 interceptions is the big number right there for Cummings.
And Gillespie will take those stats because his team has a 35-13 lead as they've gotten the ground game going. Thanks to this man, Clements, able to break more tackles, shifting his way down to the 45 near the 43-yard line. Clement getting a little bit of room and then pushing his way through for 17.
Such good upper body strength, too. You can't try and tackle him high or he's just going to run over people for those extra 5 or 6 yards. Pennsville defense got to get low on him. You see right here, guys try to tackle him high and he just rumbles for another 5 or 6 yards before he goes down.
18 carries, 166 yards for Clement on a day when he sets the record for most rushing yards in South Jersey in a season. Well, the ball spotted at the 43. Glassboro in the lead here and on the march once again. Bulldogs have 3 titles in the last 4 years, trying to keep it rolling this afternoon. And Clement will look to do his part and has a hole and has room down the sideline. He will go in for another touchdown. A 43-yard touchdown run for Clement as the Bulldogs increase their lead.
And a tremendous downfield block from Quentin Rothmiller, although we do have a flag on the field.
Flag came in late. It's sitting at the 35 and a hold against Glassboro, and this will wipe out the touchdown for Clement.
And Rothmiller was leading the way out there on the edge. You don't know if maybe they got him for grabbing a defender. I think that was it right there. He grabbed Hawthorne. As we take a look from a different angle here, you're going to see number 9 out in front of the play. That's borderline. I'm sure Glassboro coach Mark Macaron might disagree with that one, but that's a big break for Pennsville because it looked like Glassboro was really ready to drive this lead into the stratosphere.
Well, the hold from the infraction, they'll mark it back to a 1st and 12, and see a smile there from one of the officials, but Bulldogs still with the football and the lead from the 45 of Pennsville. Clement left side, able to scramble his way down near the 41. We're being brought down by Colin Bunch, who's made his share of tackles so far today for Pennsville.
But Clement does such a great job of just going downhill. He doesn't run east-west a whole lot. I mean, occasionally he bounces outside, but he's always moving forward. And even on a play like that where it didn't seem like there was much there, he's able to find that little crease and fall forward for a 4-yard gain.
And we do see number 77, Hiles, right in the middle of your screen just a moment ago, is back in this game after getting hurt in the first half. You heard Alexa mention that it was not a severe injury and just a sprain. He's back in there now. 2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs. For the 41 of Pennsville. Clement able to work his way down to the 35 as he picks up 6, setting up a very manageable 3rd down. And the old saying, you ride the horse right here. I wouldn't be surprised if Clement's workload increases even more here in the second half.
Yeah, I think they might have taken the pages with the passing plays on them and just torn them out of the book and thrown them in the garbage at this point, because the double effect is you want to just drain the clock. I mean, sooner you can keep pounding Clement, the less time Pennsville is just going to have, the less possessions it will have to try and come back in this game.
Well, he's 2/3 of their offense, 30 plays run by Glassboro, 20 were carries to Clement. Let's see if he gets the call again with the full house backfield on 3rd and 2. And he hops his way down for a 1st down, I believe, and now they'll mark him down to the 31. So he is able to pick up the 1st down. And getting back to Glassboro, Mike Gillespie, the junior quarterback, he's not half bad. He can air it out. They just haven't had to need him really put it up too much today.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to a game of this magnitude, you put the ball in the hands of your best player to win it. And like you said, Gillespie has consistently improved throughout the season. And as you mentioned earlier, thrown for over 1,000 yards, on a team that has a 2,000-yard rusher. So he's certainly been effective, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, if you're winning the war at the line of scrimmage and Clement's getting yards after contact, there's no reason to change what you're doing.
That's just the 2nd 3rd down conversion for Glassboro today. Bulldogs 2 of 7, and Clement gets the carry again, shifting his way through the middle, and finally stacked up at the 25 for a gain of about 6 or 7 on the play. And this is just as effective for Glassboro. Even though they're not getting the big runs, they're wearing down Pennsville, and the clock continues to run.
And as we mentioned, most of these players play both sides of the ball, so a lot of these linemen that are running the high-octane offense for Pennsville come back out here and play on defense, and if you can start really getting them tired, someone goes for a weak arm tackle or something like that, and the next thing you know, Clement's gone for the end zone.
And the Bulldogs, much different pace certainly than the Eagles on offense, taking their time as they go with 3 backs in the backfield once again. Rothmiller lined up in the middle, and he will get the carry and is stuffed. Gets about a yard, and that's it, maybe 2. As the Eagles are ready for that one. Like to see, you just saw that right there, a little pat on the helmet from Rothmiller to the man who tackled him, Bundy. You talk about 2 fierce rivals, but some good sportsmanship out there.
And as you mentioned, these are 2 teams that could continue to butt heads. I mean, who would be shocked if we were right back here next year and seeing these teams squaring off again? And I guess I'm interested at this point to see if they give Gillespie a chance to make a play on play action with everyone so focused on Clement. You try and take a shot for the end zone here and really put Pennsville in a major hole.
Now a 3rd and 3 coming up. Clement does get the carry. He's got the first out and more, spinning his way across the 10 and sets up a 1st and goal near the 8.
Well, certainly you can never go wrong giving the ball to that man. Just spinning out of one tackle after another. So many yards after contact today. He's just been outstanding.
Well, that 15-yard pickup puts him over the 200-yard mark for the day. 201 yards for Corey Clement.
That means he's now pushed that single season record to 2,473 yards. He's trying to ensure that no one else sniffs that record for a couple of years. Just really put it up there where no one can reach it.
And you talk about career numbers, in addition to the season number, he has another year remaining. With the 1st and goal from the 8, working with the backs in the eye, and Clement will get the call again and work his way down to the 5, so 3 more, as it'll set up a 2nd and goal.
And this is definitely a best case scenario right now if you're Glassboro head coach Mark Macarone. I mean, you've been able to drain the clock, consistently move the chains. You're taking up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter here, and if you can punch one in, you'll really be in command, ready to close it out and start the celebration all the way across the street.
They'll be able to just take the walk across the road and continue the celebration of the high school if they're able to hold on and win. So now 24 carries on the day for Clement, 204 yards, and carry number 25 sees him bounce outside and break a tackle for his 4th touchdown of the game.
Great power on the run to the outside, just knocks the defender right to the ground. He's just not going to be denied today.
So 4 touchdowns on the day for Corey Clement, some great defensive play, and a huge special teams play which saved a touchdown late in the first half. He has done it all in the spotlight.
Again, great vision. He bounces outside, just stiff arms a defender right on the ground, able to walk in. It's just when they get down near the goal line, he just smells it. I mean, he now has 36 total touchdowns this year, which is a school record. He came in tied for the record, able to take another one down from the great Sean Redmond from the 1980s who played for Penn State.
Well, maybe the worst play of the day just there for Clement. Misses his first extra point after hitting his first 5, but it's Glassboro in command, leading Pennsville 41-13. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Phl 1 Sports. Welcome back to Rowan. Ed Benkin here with Scott Stump. And the Glassboro Bulldogs up 41-13 as Corey Clement strikes for touchdown number 4. Eagles will try to get it back as bringing it across the 40 is Newsom. Good return by Newsom as he'll take it up to the 43, but on that 22-yard return now, Glassboro in control. Pennsville not only has a lot of catching up to do, but even with this offense, certainly going to be tough against the way Glassboro's pressured Cummings.
And the way that Glassboro's been able to drain the clock in addition to scoring really makes it tough, because then you're worried about if they get the ball back, you're just not going to have enough possessions to try and tie this game or go ahead or just even get right back into it down the stretch.
Now the handoff on 1st and 10. Breaking tackles is Crow as he gets to midfield. And we'll take it into Glassboro territory at the 49, a pickup of 8.
I mean, they're really going to need that big play to Ryan Hawthorne at some point as we take a look at that Glassboro drive. The big thing to me is the time, 5:49, and those 10 plays all on the ground, 9 of them to Corey Clement. So go with what works.
On 2nd down, they try the rocket screen, but it's dropped as Hawthorne, with several Bulldogs lurking in the middle of the field, unable to hold on to the football.
And again, they're really trying to get Hawthorne involved in the offense. It's just not clicking right now, and time is ticking away, so they're just searching for that big play to give them a shot of adrenaline and hopefully fire up the defense to go back out there and get a stop.
Eagles 3 for 7 on 3rd downs. They might be in 4-down territory here regardless. Is keeping it as Cummings, but he has nowhere to go. He's hit and brought down as Halton-Wanger made the tackle. A good pressure from Alicia to set up that stop.
And again, we saw Alicia on the first play in this half read the pass from Cummings in return for a touchdown. That time he shoots the gap. Another great job as far as reading keys and seeing something where he knows he's going to have a chance to make a play and making a nice impact play in the backfield. Now they're forcing Pennsville to go for it on 4th down from midfield.
Eagles 0 for 2 on 4th down conversions. This a 4th and 5 from the 48. Pressure again on Cummings, and he sails it incomplete as he's hit on the play once again by Klasky, who's had a big day as well for Glassboro. And the Bulldogs take over on downs.
I mean, Klasky's been nearly unblockable today. He's seemingly every big 3rd or 4th down play, he's in the backfield impacting the play. Again, Cummings tried to find Hawthorne. They just could not connect. And this is a really big statement for this Glassboro defense. I mean, how many teams have held this Pennsville offense that averages 38 points a game to only 13 potentially going into the 4th quarter?
And now the Bulldogs get to run more clock with just over 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 3 and complete control of this football game, up by 28.
And not only that, one of the Pennsville touchdowns was on special teams. So, I mean, the offense has only produced 1 touchdown.
Up the middle and spinning is Rothmiller, and just like his running back, May Clement, able to get big yardage and a 1st down to the 36.
Well, this is the type of game that the offensive linemen dream of, where we're up big, it's in your hands, just pound these guys. We're going to run every single play. They know it's coming. Force them to try and stop you. I mean, this is what linemen just live for.
Boy, this Glassboro team losing on opening day 54-0 to Penns Grove, and a lot of people thought, well, this is finally the year Glassboro takes a back seat and isn't playing for a championship. But here are the Bulldogs in complete control here as we are in the latter stages of the 3rd quarter.
And after that tough loss to open the season against Penns Grove, Mark Macro, their head coach, made the team watch the DVD, all their mistakes, and took it out to midfield, snapped it in half, and said, we're done with it. Let's move on.
Moved on they have, and now here is Clement fighting for extra yardage once again inside the 30, down near the 27-yard line as the Bulldogs continue to chew up both clock and yardage here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, we look at just a tremendous day so far by Corey Clement, 219 yards rushing. He's shown it all today, just a great straight-ahead burst, some nice power right here, rolling to the outside, unstoppable. I mean, he's just really done it all. I mean, he's shown yards after contact, breakaway speed, 4 touchdowns. He's been as advertised.
So now a 2nd and 2 for Glassboro. Clement up the middle. Forward progress gets him close to the marker. Looks like it'll be about a half a yard shy, but you talk about running clock. You usually don't say that in the 3rd quarter, but with this kind of lead against Pennsville's offense, you can talk about it this time of day.
Looks like we have a player down, and that actually may be Clement.
Clement is shaken up, so the officials, the timeout on the field, boy, he has just been so brilliant today. You hate to see this. Might have just taken a hard hit, but seems to be moving his knees and his arms fairly well. Let's see what they're examining. Could have been, it looks like really a cramp. And we were talking about this earlier before I went on. You don't think about cramps in December, but it certainly is a possibility considering the game and everything else that goes around into a championship.
Yeah, and it still relates to whether you're properly hydrated or not, regardless of the temperature. So, and it's not like Corey Clement hasn't been doing work today. I mean, the guy's barely come off the field. He's kicking extra points, running for touchdowns, making an impact on defense. He's been everywhere.
Well, do you want to relive all of today's action again and again? Check out nj.com/game of the week for complete game rebroadcast from the convenience of your computer 24/7. You'll also find archive games from this past season and more. The Star Ledger/nj.com, everything high school sports. Well, you look at what Clement's been able to do today, and everyone, I know you say it's only a cramp when you see football injuries. It's easy to say that. If anyone has had that, I'm sure a lot of people have. It's extremely painful, though, as we alluded to, not a serious injury.
Well, and especially for a running back, I mean, that's going to definitely slow you up a little bit. Although, you know what, if you're going to pick a time to get a cramp, do it when you're up 41-13 with the 3rd quarter almost ended. Maybe you've already done enough work where even if you don't come back, your team will still be successful in the end.
And think about with the start time here. The start time of this game was in the morning, an unusual time certainly for the players to play, but both coaches said the players didn't mind. Imagine it's difficult to get a good night's sleep when you're getting ready for a championship game. You're all hyped up, but it's been certainly a rough day for the Eagle as well. But you have to think for these players, the adrenaline the night before is so hard to get a good night's sleep, and then the alarm goes off pretty early for a game like this.
Well, that's the thing. It's just so unnatural because during the regular season, you just, unless maybe on Thanksgiving, you don't play games at 10 in the morning, as we see the running back being taken off the field there. I mean, Corey Clement put in a lot of work so far. We'll see if he makes a return. Clearly, that's a major, major loss. I mean, if you're Pennsville, maybe that gives you that little glimmer of hope that we have a shot to maybe come back here. And now we talked about, Michael Gillespie not having to do a whole lot thus far because Clement's been so brilliant. We'll see if maybe the game is put into his hands a little bit more. And again, this comes up down to the offensive line. Their feeling is probably, we don't care who's back there. We're still going to move you up front and move the chains. And
certainly backs like Rothmiller have had their moments as well. We'll see if he gets the carry here on 3rd and 1 from the 27. Rothmiller lined up as the fullback. It's a sneak, and Gillespie will have the first down and more as he stays on his feet and is taken down at the 5-yard line. Wrapped up and thrown down after another big gain for 22 yards. Hawthorne with the tackle.
And not only that, it looked like he fumbled the snap initially, and lightning quick picked it back up and then breaks it right there. You see he mishandles the snap, ducks between a couple linemen, and takes off for a 22-yard gain. Everything going right for Glassboro right now.
Well, in this stadium years ago, as Glassboro State back then, before they became Rowan, John Bunning, the former Eagle coach's team, ran a play that you can't run in college anymore, the fumble Ruski, where you put the ball down and then it's picked up and running for a big gain. In this case, we'll check now. There's a flag down. The flag came in very late, but it's a penalty against Glassboro. The play was done for a while. The ball was put down. And now they'll move the football back. Well, might have been an extra man on the field as we check the call from the official. This will move the football back to the 42. Now we'll see if it came after the play. I don't think it did. That's a long way back to set the penalty.
That had to have been from the line of scrimmage because, a 15-yard penalty had to have been from the line where the line of scrimmage. They were all the way down to, the 27 there. So, again, Pennsville catches a little bit of a break. You got, Clement leaving the game. It seems like Glassboro just keeps going right down the field. And then now looks like we're going to have a timeout.
Glassboro takes timeout. As you saw Clement being attended to. We thought it might have been a cramp, but it looked like he was getting a little more work around his foot. And again, the good news for Glassboro is the Bulldogs are up by 28 points, but obviously losing Clement, if the Eagles can get a couple of quick scores, certainly make things interesting. So we'll check on his progress as well. Meanwhile, do you want to help your school or any 501c nonprofit raise funds easily with no direct selling? Enroll them in the Verizon Velocity fundraising program, and Verizon will make donations when supporters order new qualifying Verizon products. Nonprofits can receive up to $65 for every new Verizon Triple Play order, which can add up fast. To learn more, visit www.verizon.com/velocity. You see the field turf here at Rowan University, the former Rowan College, the former Glassboro State. Of course, very successful Division III football program here as well. So now with the ball at the 42-yard line of Pennsville, Glassboro faced with a long third down to go here for the first down. They have to get to the 26. So 3rd and 16 coming up. Gillespie will get a chance to pass. Short to the near side, wrapped up right near the 36-yard line. Maybe the 34. Not much room that time for Quentin Rothmiller to navigate. We'll set up a 4th down and will also be the final play of quarter number 3. So they'll put the ball down at the 33, and it's the longtime champions, the Glassboro Bulldogs, in control after 3 quarters of play, leading Pennsville 41-13. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Fios One Sports. Welcome back to Rowan. Ed Benkin here at Scott Stump and Alexa Datt as we get set for the start of the 4th quarter. Glassboro leading 41-13. And now with more, let's go down to the sidelines and hear from Alexa.
Hey guys, well we know football tends to run in the family, and the Bulldogs, that is absolutely the case. Head coach Mark Marone and offensive coordinator Greg Marone are brothers. Greg is the older brother. Mark says they get along pretty well. He says they often fight though, but at family events they get along fine. He said today we're only concerned about being head coach and offensive coordinator. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Alexa. What a day it will be in the Macarone household if the Bulldogs can hold on here, up 41-13 now, faced with a 4th and 7. They'll punt it away. Angling the kick to the far side is James. Ball slips towards the end zone, and we'll go in for a touchback. So Pennsville now is on a 33-yard punt into the end zone. Pennsville now down by 4 touchdowns, but they have a quarter to work with. As I alluded to before, most teams you say the game's over. With Pennsville, the door's still open.
Not impossible. I mean, they're just a team that you're never really going to feel comfortable against until that final whistle. So you can bet that pass rush is being exhorted by Coach Mark Macarone to be as strong as ever and continue to put the heat on Dylan Cummings.
Of course, the problem is getting through this tenacious Glassboro defense, which has been brilliant so far today. Draw up the middle and looking for room and finding a hole is Bundy, and he gets the first down up to the 31. So draw play, and the Eagles having their passing attack slow, going back to the ground a bit.
And that was a great call because Dan Klasky was coming on a blitz up the middle for Glassboro, and they caught him running right by, gave Bundy room to run, and some early momentum here for the Eagles.
11-yard pickup, and this time Cummings will throw. Has time, tipped up in the air and caught as hauling it in is Newsom off the deflection. Far sideline, close to midfield, and pushed out of bounds. So break for Pennsville, and then another play out of bounds, but nothing thrown as far as a flag. It does give Pennsville a first down.
So many great individual efforts today by Newsom. I mean, we've seen him leap over a guy for a big catch, rip another one away from a D-back. This time the pass is intended for Hawthorne, but he stays with it, turns a broken play into a big gain.
Now on first down after that 27-yard gain, Bundy trying to pick his way through traffic, and it stopped at the line of scrimmage. Well, Pennsville has to score and score quickly, not a problem, certainly if you're the Pennsville Eagles. So getting in the end zone is one thing, getting in quickly is what's needed here. No gain on that run, so it's a 2nd and 10. As Cummings will get set to air it out with another blitz coming. Cummings with nowhere to go, now flips one up, and the catch is made by Crows. He's pushed out of bounds near the 35. Not enough for the first down, but sets up a much more manageable 3rd down.
And Crow has really been Cummings' safety valve today. We've seen them hit the screenplay to him a couple times. Did have a touchdown catch earlier in the game. He's really stepped up big coming out of that backfield.
So a 2nd down goes to a 3rd down, a 3rd and 3 from the 35 for Pennsville. Rush coming. And the pass is thrown incomplete. Good pressure again by the Bulldogs as Cummings had no choice but to throw it away.
Yeah, and that time it looked like Jameel Murray making him get rid of it in a hurry.
Cummings so far today, 14 of 24, 256 yards. But he's over 3,000 for the season. There's Clement, who's back into the game. So a couple of notes there. Clement returns, but for the season, over 3,000 yards. The first sophomore ever in New Jersey to throw for over 3,000 yards in a season. Now faced with a 4th down as Cummings on play action will roll left. He's got a man open as Crow takes it in at the 25, has the first down, still on his feet, and knocked out of bounds near the 15. So the Eagles able to convert on 4th down.
And Monty Crow once again coming up with a big catch in a key spot. They've done a great job of having him leak out of that backfield and either trail across the middle or get out into the flat. He's making some crucial plays, and Pennsville threatening to at least make this thing interesting down the stretch here.
So 1st and 10 on the 14. As after that pickup of 21 on play action, Cummings to throw. Wide and incomplete as, again, the pressure by Glassboro making it difficult for Cummings to get comfortable in the pocket. Crow holding his arm as he comes to the sidelines.
And that's a very bad sign. I mean, he's been a key part of this offense. They can't really afford to have him out of the game for too long right now.
So a 2nd and 10 from the 14. Crow with 6 catches on the day, 99 receiving yards. But he heads to the sidelines now on the 2nd down. Cummings with time in the pocket, but nobody open. It's incomplete. Good coverage by the secondary, which has quietly had a fine day for Glassboro, not just for the interceptions, but with the coverage.
Yeah, it seems like it's been very rare that Pennsville receivers have been able to get a ton of separation against any of these D-backs. And as we know, Juwan Johnson had 3 interceptions in the first half, so they've really done a tremendous job in addition to that pass rush, which has certainly helped them out.
So a 3rd and 10 coming up for Pennsville, obviously in 4-down territory here, down by 28. Cummings incomplete, and the Bulldogs have done a nice job of taking away those slant-ins over the middle as Hawthorne was covered.
Yeah, that looked like Ronnie James on the coverage on that, and they've really done a tremendous job, Glassboro, of taking Hawthorne out of the game plan. He really hasn't affected the defense at all as far as, been breaking any big plays, and right there, Ronnie James right with him.
Well, Pennsville had been 0 for 3 on 4th down, so that last conversion a few moments ago. Now 4th and 10 could be the last chance for the Eagles here early in the 4th. Cummings sets up the screen and getting hit and forcing the incompletion on Hawthorne. But a good, clean lick for Glassboro is Collins. Make that Glasgow who made the hit. And Glassboro will take over on downs, and you have to wonder if Pennsville is running out of chances.
And Dan Klasky, who's been everywhere today in the backfield, shows that he can also cover the screen game right there. He completely read that play and belted Hawthorne. A nice bellow for the big man after a nice stick in a state championship game in what may have been Pennsville's last gasp.
Well, there will be a lot of talk about Clement's brilliant day on the ground and certainly the interceptions, but the defense in general outside of the turnovers really just a brilliant day against one of the top scoring attacks in South Jersey. Clement will look to run some clock as he's back in on the offensive side, gets up for a gain of about 4. And now that Clement is back, you can expect that he will get a heavy dose of carries yet again. I'm not sure if Gillespie will throw another pass the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're bringing him out now. I mean, maybe with the cramping, you kind of have to get him stretched or get him some water here, make sure he's hydrated in between certain plays. But the way the defense is playing right now, you got to feel awfully good if you're Glassboro.
So the clock under 9 minutes to play. The Bulldogs, as you see, taking a lot of time off the clock before they snap the football. Far side, looking for room, is James. James will get a short pickup up near the 26. So again, the clock continuing to run as the market with that extra spot for the 1st down.
You got to think the main emphasis right now is just ball security. You just don't give the ball back to Pennsville. They're completely in command on offense on Glassboro. Just take care of the ball, keep running behind those big linemen, and raise that trophy.
And Gillespie, another underrated part of his game today, just managing the offense and working the clock. That was the 37th rush of the game for Glassboro, and you can expect that total to increase mightily, at least on this possession. Belly play up the middle, and Rothmiller runs into several blue jerseys, but the Bulldogs, even with the loss of one or no gain, they're happy to just run some more clock here.
Yeah, at this point, the clock is their friend, and whether you get a gain or not, because if you're Pennsville, you probably got to try and save some timeouts for offense if you're going to try and make a run at this thing. So unfortunately, you have to sit there and watch that clock tick away and hope your defense can get the ball back, and then you can pull off a miracle.
Well, 44 plays run by the Glassboro offense, 38 on the ground. Gillespie just 3 for 6, 17 yards, but hasn't had to air it out the way the Bulldogs have run the ball and played defensively as well.
Well, it certainly can be done. I mean, in the non-public Group 2 final this season, Holy Spirit completed 0 passes and beat Camden Catholic 51-7.
Here's James on 2nd and 12, has the 1st down as he spins up to the 43. A pickup of 19, and even the rest of the running crew for Glassboro starting to pile up yards.
And this offensive line is really just starting to take over the game. It almost doesn't matter who's running the ball back there. James does show you a nice burst to the outside there, running hard, getting yards after contact. I mean, it's just a deep group of running backs here behind Clement. He's not the only guy.
12th 1st down of the game for Glassboro. The Bulldogs just chewing down the clock, and Closing in on their 4th championship in 5 years. It would be their 2nd in a row. As Gillespie will take all the time he can to work off the clock. There's James again, and James crosses midfield and gets about 9 before being driven backward forward progress as Ronnie James ended the yardage total. Scott, if you're not a Glassboro fan, of course, you really have to feel for Pennsville. This is a program that's had a 30-year championship drought. All signs pointed to this year being Pennsville's year, but they've just run into the wrong team today.
And like anything else, it's tough to beat a very good team 2 times. You know, Pennsville got Glassboro 55-35 during the regular season. But like we talked about earlier, I think that also gave Glassboro a chance to really study this Pennsville offense and see what kind of adjustments it could make if it was going to see the Eagles again. And clearly the Bulldogs have done that. I mean, with their pass rush and the ability to jump routes in the secondary, it's just been a complete 180 from that first game.
You see the Bulldogs brilliantly taking all the time off the clock that they possibly can before snapping the football.
Because the funny part is Clement ran for 280 yards the first time these two teams played. So, you know, he's having another big game. Again, the main thing that's changed is the defensive effort by Glassboro.
Clement gets 2 in the first down, but James, the freshman, running well, certainly it makes you think that, okay, after next year when Clement graduates, that the running attack will be in good hands.
Well, that's just been the way this program has been over the years. As we listed, we talked about some of those greats from the past. I mean, it's kind of like that's the glamour position at this program. They produce so many great running backs over the years. It's kind of like a line of succession as we see, you know, Coach Ryan Wood, very frustrated at this point. I mean, his Eagles are 26-6 under him in his 3 seasons so far. He's done a tremendous job there, made this program into a perennial contender, but after losing in double overtime last year to Glassboro in the playoffs, it looks like the Eagles are going to have their hearts broken again by the Bulldogs.
Bit of confusion, but even that works out to a positive gain for Glassboro. Is getting pushed out of bounds is Juwan Johnson. Some confusion on the snap, but Johnson finally turned and ran, and even with that confusion, able to pick up about 8.
And it's been that kind of day for Juwan Johnson, too, as far as just everything going right. 3 interceptions in the first half, one of which he took 99 yards to the house. And as you see right here, they just kind of lined him up in the Wildcat and let him run. And he did a nice job.
And the Bulldogs will try to chew up some more clock. And there's a huge crowd on hand today. Some of the Pennsville faithful staying certainly to salute their team for a great season. A huge Glassboro contingency. Again, the long commute, since we're actually in Glassboro, was in walking distance for some of the fans as well.
Yeah, did they have the parade already ready to go right there on the street outside?
They could start it right now because they're in their hometown. And the Glassboro Bulldogs continue to run more clock as Clemens takes the snap and will add another yard to his total. But yardage not the key right here. For Gillespie and company, it's running that clock down, as you see. And now players shake it up for Pennsville. Getting up slowly, and it was Bundy. He was in the middle of that pile, but Glassboro able to move the football and get a first down. Clement now 30 carries, 228 yards. Just another day at the office for the junior.
His name is going to be next to number 1 in a lot of records before he's all said and done in his brilliant career.
And he really shined in the spotlight today. The great players, situations like this come up big, and he's done it offense, defense, and special teams today for Glassboro.
And he's gotten it just the way he would want it. You know, you get the numbers and you get the victory. They line him up in the Wildcat here.
Direct snap, but he'll hand it off instead, and fighting for yardage and spinning his way ahead is Hoaxie. As it looks like the Bulldogs will stay on the ground the rest of the way. Get ready to celebrate their 4th title in 5 years. This drive started with 9:25 remaining. There's now 2:45 remaining. So the Bulldogs continuing to chew off some clock, and now Gillespie will head back in with the ball on the 32-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those drives when these offensive linemen are 40-something years old, wearing their varsity jackets back at the reunion, talking about their state title. They'll be smiling and remembering this one. That's how they closed out a great effort in a state title.
Mark Macarone, his first year as head coach of Glassboro. Again, an assistant with the Bulldogs, but done a tremendous job this year keeping this program on top. A lot of people thought, well, maybe Glassboro struggles a bit this year. Not in top form, but they've been in top form today as Rothmiller gets the carry and powers forward close to another first down near the 25. And Glassboro will continue to chew up clock, but they're getting close to the end zone.
I mean, you got to figure, unless they break one, they'll get down here and just take a knee.
Well, time now to take a look at our Watch ESPN play of the game. It's the ESPN Networks live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. Go to www.verizon.com/Fios TV online for details. And there could be several plays of the game, but this one, probably the biggest one, the return that really set the tide of the game by Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, he snatches it out of midair there at the 1 yard line, eludes a few tacklers, and then it's just a foot race, 99 yards. That'll be one to tell the grandkids about in a bunch of years.
1:13 and counting. The Bulldogs with the first down now can just run out the rest of the clock. 466 yards on the ground for this Glassboro squad. As Gillespie will look to add to that total as getting the carry is Rothmiller. Gets a couple of more as he takes it down to the 21. And maybe one more play and that'll be it. You mentioned that Mark Macarone, after the first game, the 54-0 loss to Penns Grove, showed the DVD, broke it in half. There will be no breaking of DVDs for this game for that man.
Yeah, they'll be copying them, not breaking them.
They will be able to hold on to it forever. As the celebration on now for Glassboro. As the clock winds down, under 30 seconds to play, they'll have to snap the ball one more time, it appears, and that will be it. But there is Macarone. Fired up coming into today and certainly fired up now as Gillespie will line up under center. Could take a knee here with just 15 seconds to play. He does. So the Glassboro Bulldogs, a team many thought might take a step back this year, will get a chance to celebrate for the 4th time in 5 years and the 2nd year in a row as the final seconds tick away. Once again, the Glassboro Bulldogs are champions of South Jersey Group 1.
Gentlemen, 2011 Group 1 champions, the Bulldogs of Glassboro High School. Next game, Group 2 final.
Great feeling, certainly, but a very business-like celebration of a team that is accustomed to winning, I think.
I think they really felt in that first matchup, you know, they just done a few things wrong and that they were the better team. They completely turned it around. Another tremendous game from Corey Clement. Complete 180 by the defense. Outstanding pass rush led by Dan Klatsky. Huge game in the secondary by Juwan Johnson, all added up to a dominating victory.
Another championship for the Bulldogs as they win it by a score of 41-13. Back with more in a moment. You're watching the New Jersey Football State Championships with the Star Ledger and NJ.com on Verizon Fios One Sports. Welcome back to Richard Wacker Stadium, where the Glassboro Bulldogs are champions once again, winning 41-13 over the Pennsville Eagles. The 4th title for Glassboro in 5 years. Let's get more down to the field with Alexa.
Hey guys, I'm here with 2 state champions, running back Corey Clement and head coach Mark Marone. Coach, I'll start with you. Your first season as the head coach, but you've been around this program for a while. How did these players make this a special win for you?
I mean, the fact that they came out and they busted their rear ends for 18 weeks, I mean, through 2 losses, 2 bad losses, and they just kept persevering, and were able to come out and do what we needed them to do this week. And, you know, that's a credit to the kids. You know, at Pennsville, they played a great game. They had a great season, and, you know, a lot of credit to those kids at Pennsville. But, you know, our kids were hungry. They wanted to avenge that loss from that first game back in October, and, you know, they weren't going to be denied this game. You know, this is what we're used to. We're used to being out in this situation, playing for group championships, and you know, the experience showed today. And, you know, the kids really rose to the occasion, and I can't be more proud of them and my entire coaching staff for the job we put in this season.
Coach, we spoke before the game about how you guys were an underdog in this game. Do you still feel like an underdog?
You know, yes and no, I guess. I mean, hey, you know, you have a dynasty program like Glassboro's been, and people pick us to be the underdog. I don't know why, because, you know, pick me to be the underdog, we're going to win. That's the way it is. You know, I mean, people look down on us because we lost 2 games, but, you know, hey, whether you lose by 5, lose by 50, lose by 1, it's still a loss. And, you know, you shake those things off and you come back. And, you know, people want to pick us to be the underdog, I'm fine with that. That takes the pressure off of me.
Coach, what do you have to say about this guy over here, Corey?
Corey, what is there not to say about Corey? Corey might be one of the greatest running backs I've ever seen. I've coached in high school and college, and I mean, the kid is just an absolute workhorse. He has pure heart. He has pure desire. He is the most well-respected player probably on our team. And as a junior, he's a junior captain. And when Corey, raises his voice and settles everything down, 45 other kids, they get in check real fast. And I mean, his attitude, his just everything about him. He's humble about his accomplishments. I mean, being a 17-year-old kid and having almost 2,500 yards would give anybody a big head, but not Corey. And he's he's very humble about it. And it's his desire isn't his personal goals. His desire is to make Glassboro football a better football team and win football games. Bottom line.
Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations. Corey, how do you feel about that? Coach has a nice word to say about you.
I feel very thankful. I would like to thank my team for coming out here. We only needed 11. I'm happy my team pushed through with me. I'm just happy we got the championship win. That's all I care about, the yards. I did it for my team. That's all I can say.
You were saying back-to-back in the group huddle with everyone. Back-to-back, what does that mean to you to get both championships?
I mean, throughout my lifetime of playing football, I never really won a championship until I got to high school. I mean, doing a back-to-back season, that's incredible to me. I'm going to look back to this season when I'm in college, hopefully when I make it to the pros and say I was on that 2011 team, and I'm happy I played and joined and stayed healthy long enough to actually come to this moment.
Over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. You broke records today. Does any of that mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. It's all about holding that plaque. It's all about holding that plaque. I give my line a whole bunch of credit because without him, I couldn't do it. I got two legs. There's nothing without my line.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Alexa. Time now for our post-game highlights brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's the ESPN Networks live on your smartphone, tablet, and computer. Go to www.verizon.com/FiosTV online for details. And the man that Alexa just talked to, Corey Clement, one of the many in the highlights.
Yeah, and also just a tremendous job as we see Antoine Alessia jumping a route here to start the third quarter. The defense for Glassboro was also outstanding, in addition to, of course, the tremendous record-breaking Corey Clement. Ran for 229 yards, 4 touchdowns as we see him just running over a defender here. And as Coach Macarone said, that he was just not going to be denied, and neither was his team. And there's Dan Klasky, who played a tremendous game defensively on the pass rush. As we take a look at the final stats and look at those rushing yards for Glassboro, 485. That is just a dominant effort up front. 229 of them were from Clement as he became the single-season rushing record holder for South Jersey, and really did a nice job bottling up that Pennsville passing attack and the 5 turnovers. Just a great all-around effort by the Bulldogs.
So Pennsville will have to wait till next year one more time, while Glassboro, for the 2nd year in a row and the 4th time in 5 seasons, wins the South Group 1 championship. An impressive win and impressive performance by the Bulldogs. That will do it here from Richard Wacker Stadium. Once again, our final score, Glassboro 41, Pennsville 13. For Scott Stump, Alexa Datt, and our entire crew, this has been a presentation of Verizon Phl Sports and the Star Ledger/NJ.com. Thanks for watching.
Clement. Corey Clement. Corey Clement.